it up. Okay, so Derek, first thing to establish, we're still starting off with the crew for a little bit, right?
No, they're back.
What'd you say?
Nah, crew's gone. Fell disappeared between scenes.
Oh, they did?
Yep.
Oh no!
Yeah. I mean, they all went back on board.
Early's over.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we wanted to have like a delay.
Nope.
There is no delay. As soon as he appears.
Well,
They
which
know.
one? Wait, so which session chronologically happens first?
Technically, Hub Squad is supposed to happen first.
So,
It's
yes.
a plot hole, just ignore it.
They're sort of simultaneous, which makes this difficult to
That's,
actually...
Well,
just
remember-
ignore the plot holes. They happen in a long-running TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, it's part of Captain Dumont's thing. He ignores plot holes.
I also assume that
flashback
Captain
to that
Dumont can
one
be in-
scene where we spent 30 minutes discussing a plot hole to fix it. Okay, so...
Oh, he can ignore them. It's just he can ignore them. He doesn't need to.
He doesn't have to ignore them. He can utilize them.
Yeah.
Weaponize the inconsistency.
Yeah.
Alright.
His options are many.
So we should probably introduce Captain Dumont again. So, Derek, how does Captain Dumont re-enter Hub Squad?
What's the current Hub Squad situation? Where is
we
everybody?
are on a giant boat heading to the Hive.
What if instead we were on a giant Spirit of the Unknown flying above the giant boat heading to the Hive?
I love that.
Yeah, so you guys feel a sudden shift and you feel a cessation of the rocking caused by the waves. There's a commotion by the crew, and as you guys head on out, you see the Spirit of the Unknown tethered to the boat, lifting you guys above the water.
You're being shanghaied, mateys!
Hi
Dumont?
there, Dumont.
Reginald
Good to
is
see you
running
back.
around trying to stop the anti-air guns from firing.
It's good to be back. What's happened since I last saw you?
We're going to
Died.
Not much
Court.
Didn't.
actually.
One of the crewmen sticks his head out and says, "Tax court."
International Law Court.
Oh, thank God.
The second you say taxes, like 3 of the crewmen just fucking spit. That's the Hive crewmate. Crewman.
Wait, are the Hive crewmen on the Spirit?
Some of them
Sure.
have wound up on there already. We don't know how.
Captain Dumont might have been a little indiscriminate when he was grabbing the members of the Candy Shot to bring them aboard.
Chivalry will ask after having. He'll look pretty startled about this entire situation, given who had previously had this ship. But he'll look up at Dumont and ask, "How did you get it back?"
Heresy!
Chivalry just kind of nods at that. Makes perfect sense, honestly.
Yar har.
Is there anything visually different about the ship that Sweet or Charlie would immediately
It's
notice?
got a fucking psychedelic paint job. Like LSD overdose style.
Oh my
whirling
goodness,
colors,
Season
you
2,
know.
Spirit of the Unknown?
Yep.
Yeah, you see Skater Kid, like, fast asleep. He's tuckered out from putting in work. The Spirit of the Unknown now has, like, a graffiti edge to its logo.
So, what happened with the paint job? It's a lot. Doesn't seem your style quite.
The dastardly villains who absconded with my beloved vessel had the very temerity to inflict their ultra beige sensibilities upon my beloved vessel, and I had to correct that ballistically.
Do you still have any Vanta Beige on board?
God no.
Beige.
Vile stuff.
toxic. You guys see Reginald climb on after explaining the situation to the Hive crew and like radioing into the Hive. Reginald comes on like, "Hey, I know I'm wearing a Hive suit. I'm on your side, sleeper agent. Long story." Okay. So guys, first things first. Good to see you picked up a Sky Pirate. Those are hot commodities.
Yarhar.
Second, got a plan. So, plan's kind of thrown off, but Mr. Pirate?
Dumond, adventure hero / part-time pirate at your service.
Okay.
He doffs his enormous, comedically large pirate hat.
All right, I want you to know I'm imagining a combination of a tricorn and a sombrero.
I'm trying to find the one I'm thinking of.
With the skilled practice of a kid of a guy who does kids' birthday parties, Reginald fashions a few glow sticks into a top hat outline, doffs it, and then throws it overboard.
Captain Dumond looks consideringly at his glorious hat, which I am about to post, and then doffs one of the crew members' hats and also throws it overboard.
Reginald nods. Oh, shit.
That's a really good hat. All right, Derek, I needed to ask you a very important question. Are all the doors on the Spirit like 2 feet higher now to accommodate, or is there just like a, or like are all the door frames just have a perfect cutout of the exact?
They definitely have a cutout.
Oh yeah,
And it's just not closed. It's obviously just been sawed out of the door frame. So there's just always a hole above all of the doors.
Perfect.
the angle was like the control of the poise. My God,
And it definitely has that little extra feather sticking out of the top. That is sawed out as well.
good.
Absolutely. The skill it takes him to walk through perfectly is immense, but he's got practice.
Seeing that, Bill will kind of smirk and say, I didn't know Jigsaw was on your crew, Captain."
Captain Dumond will blink at you in polite befuddlement.
The Chivalry's chest is emblazoned with Parole Officer, and that will glow slightly for a moment. He'll sort of clutches his chest. He'll walk over to the ship's wheel because he has a feeling something happened there.
Yeah, give me a second. The ship's wheel is now, instead of the absolutely gorgeous wooden, traditional ship's, now quite obviously something that is not supposed to be there.
Chivalry will ask, what happened?
Vile larceny! A debt is owed, and it will be recovered. Now, onwards to the most dastardly of lairs, the courtroom.
Okay.
So, Reginald, you said you had a plan?
I do have a plan. Okay, Captain Dumond, would I be good to call upon your crew for the purpose of shenanigans?
Of course!
Okay, excellent, because what's going to happen? I'm going to need about 200 of your crewmen. I logged them as going on our ship, so I've listed them all as witnesses. What we're going to do is we have, I don't know what courts you guys are familiar with, but this is a triumvirate, basically expert testimony only court. So 3 judges, no jury, only people listed as witnesses come, so they've put you in a very small courtroom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just do Captain Dumont's crew first. We're going to fucking flood the place. And what this is going to do is basically they're not going to notice you're missing for about an hour. They're going to be working to dismiss all these witnesses. I will be working in your favor. Second, we're not going to be able to fit you all in one elevator. I know for a fact they didn't allocate a proper number of overseers to cover all of the shipments we're going to do to get people up there. Which means I can fit the Candy Shop core staff on one, and they're going to insist on putting 2 overseers with you guys. I can make one of them Cargo, who is sympathetic. I can make the other, it's going to be a random person, but I can try and get it to be someone incompetent. What that's basically going to do is I can organize a meeting with the Butcher. He's the guy who's doing the slave uprising. He said he wants to meet you, basically.
I like the sound of this plan.
Cool. He throws you a chrome glow stick. Goes, if you crack that, it's going to just absolutely wreck any machinery you're near. Which means when you guys are on the 175th floor, crack it. You should be...
175th, got it.
Yeah. You're going to have to find your own way from there. I straight up couldn't... I couldn't smuggle out a map. But, you guys seem pretty capable. Just keep a low profile and don't...
Important question. How perceptive are they? How likely are they to notice if I turn stuff to glass?
Well,
like small things.
It depends on what overseers are in the area. If you're on the 175th, you're far enough away from whale oil refinement that they shouldn't have anyone too perceptive. 175th is a foreclosed area that's being reused as residential as we clear out some accidents.
Gotcha.
That's where the Butcher is stationed, just about. If you guys want to poke around, going straight from 175 to the Butcher, that's going to be pretty easy. Cargo's going to be there. He can point you in the right direction. You just have to dispose of the other overseer without... Don't try not to kill them. Try to knock them out before they know what's happening. That's like ideal. But if you do have to kill them, just make sure no one finds the body.
Okay.
Bill sort of
Looks at
grimly
Bill.
nods at that. Yeah. Bill makes the gesture of a silent sigh and just says, "All right,
But again,
can accommodate that."
Try not to murder, because that is something I will have to cover up.
Sure.
Second, if you guys do want to explore other parts of the hive, you might find out useful stuff, or you might find stuff you can use. I can't say that for certain. I mean, I know they're hiding something big in whale oil refinement, which is only, I believe, floor 154.
Okay.
I'm going with, the exact numbers. It's not, 154 up. It's like a grid. So you're on Tower 1, Grid 5, Floor 4. We just call them, you'll figure it out. It's not too hard.
Wait, I might be cross-linking some things here. Is the hive where... Wait.
Hides the slavers.
No, I get that, but I'm remembering hearing someone here talk about something called the third floor Khanate. Is that... And that they were on the second floor? Is that a thing in the hive, or...
You'll have to find out.
Or wait, was that from Seth's
I
campaign?
think that might have been mine.
Okay.
That sounds like something I was doing.
Now, that being said, this is all Tower 1. I know there's 6 towers total. If you guys want to get really fucking adventurous, you can get to the... If you get to the 6th tower, you could potentially go for Colonel Sanderson's room. That's, a maybe. Him dying would be pretty good for us. But, maybe later. Anyway. Any other questions? Any concerns? Any ideas?
Chivalry will ask, how easy would it be for a puppet to wander these towers?
About as hard as anyone else. They take things they don't know pretty seriously.
How are the chivalry struggles for the word, the HVAC, the cooling systems? Yeah, that's the one, the vents.
So that's actually, it would only be really in the industrial sections. Like, I know they have cooling in the whale oil, but that's because they care about the whale oil. Slaves dying from overheating and straight up suffocation happens pretty frequently.
Chivalry sort of reflects to himself he's happy he doesn't need to breathe, but the things that Animal taught him will not be helpful here.
There might be some forgotten HVAC infrastructure, but you'd have to carve your way through quite a bit of beeswax to get through it, I think.
So I have a question about that, actually, out of character. If Chivalry holds Fraggle Rock in front of him and starts spinning, what determines how fast he can spin to drill his way through a material? What stat is that?
I'm just going to say that's not really a capability you have at this point. That would be something you would kind of have to spend points to do. Like, that's a developed thing.
Okay.
You can just make a melee attack, though, to clear it.
Okay. I'll build Chivalry an endless spin attack later. That's pretty funny.
Unstoppable spin attack.
Okay.
Unavoidable spin move.
So we are almost at the hive already. Is there... Captain, I'm gonna ask that you put us down, because if they see us flying, they're gonna get nervous, they're gonna open fire.
Now, by us, do you mean all of yourselves, or the whole ship?
Please put the boat down into the water and moor the ship to the boat, please.
Very well! And Captain Dumont slams a giant green button, at which point we all go into free fall.
Fuck.
Who is Charlie standing near?
I mean, he was standing next to Bill in the scene earlier.
He is going to grab Bill.
All right. Do we need to make an athletics check, Sam, to not go flying off the boat?
And you're not moving really relative to the boat, except that you're now in free fall.
I'm gonna...
I asked mainly
Charlie's still unhappy
because
about the last time he was in free fall. Yesterday.
The boat will probably fall slightly, just air resistance wise, much faster than Chivalry, so he might need to make a roll to actually land on it.
I'm gonna say I don't really know the air resistance profile of this boat. That's not something I had considered. I'm gonna say everyone just make an athletics check and we'll go from there. So every character, please just make an athletics check and let me know. I think Propulsion needs to make one now because I don't think he can fly anymore. At least not yet.
He cannot.
With her
However,
height.
it should be rather easy. You said athletics?
Yep.
And Captain Dumont scoffs at your silly athletics challenges. And gains willpower.
There'd be no matches.
You said no matches from Charlie?
No matches from Charlie.
3 10s on Bill, 5 10s on Chivalry.
I'm back. Sorry.
I would like to make a crew interrupt for someone to snatch Charlie out of the air as he starts to flail.
Crew interrupt would work, I think.
That is also no matches on Sweet Tooth.
I'm just gonna
He will take the fall.
roll 4 dice for funsies.
Did we decide if
2 8s and 2 5s. Can I have crew grab both of them?
Yes.
Excellent.
Chris, give
You're
us
both-
athletics checks to not fall off of the spirit.
I was asking did we decide if John Hannibal had to come or not?
I believe everyone had to come.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no matches for him.
I mean, Propulsion technically didn't have to come, but he came.
Also, Amp didn't come. I know Amp didn't come for sure because they're doing
They're
the
doing the patrolman stuff.
patrolman stuff.
3 9s and for Carronade and 2 9s for Propulsion.
All right. Excellent. Anyone who succeeded takes no damage. Sweet Tooth and Charlie are going to be fine because the crew basically dives under to act as human cushioning, I guess.
Nah, they sail through the air like they're using wingsuits and snap carabiners to them and clip them to the rigging, so they're not
I was
dangling.
imagining they just
It's the
I was
water.
imagining they just swing around the ship on ropes, how they're constantly moving.
At least one of them has a solar-powered surfboard cruising.
Yes! Okay, that's pretty cool. I do like that.
Also, Captain Dumont does now have a solar-powered quote-unquote lightsaber.
Oh, come on, I was going to show that off later.
Oh shit, sorry. It had obvious on it, so I thought, okay, my bad.
Yeah, it's obvious when I use it. Right now it's just a tube.
Sorry about that.
Killing me, Smalls.
Killing you. Alright. I believe that's successes from... Did Mr. President succeed?
Nope.
Okay, Mr. President's gonna take one shot.
Also, all of them were under 5.
That doesn't
I'm
matter.
not gonna do an unlucky hit on you, because you're the only one suffering here. You're gonna take 1 shock and killing to all hit locations. Your organ mesh should reduce that to 2 shock to all hit locations.
Okay.
A Sweet Tooth candy should heal you right up if you wanna.
We're on the
I will-
Spirit of the Unknown.
Yep,
You
you
can
got
just
the-
go visit the
The medical bay.
med bay.
I will just go to the medical bay then.
Oh, do we still have some candy comet left over?
Probably like 1 or 2. I don't think many.
So
I know we thought we were going to have to use everyone's, but then we didn't because we weren't going through the metal portal.
That's true.
That was a lot that we were going to have to use if we were doing that.
before we get to the hive, is there anything that anybody can think of that we would want to spend knickknacks and curiosities on?
Bribe money, maybe?
Couple things I can think of is something to tunnel through beeswax easily.
We could do
Out
something
of-
for stealth, maybe.
An out-of-date map of the hive, perhaps?
Ooh. Ooh, I like that.
Can
Sure.
you get something more accurate if you have Reginald grab it for you?
No idea. It's 2 wiggle dice, so...
Okay.
But I can only augment something that you guys are doing. So somebody needs to pick a
I'm not the stealthiest, so I figured I would have to do something more distractive. So, the stealthiest person, who's the stealthiest person and what would you
Bill.
need? Bill, what would you need?
To be even stealthier? Or what do you mean?
What would you need the curiosities to be?
I honestly feel like maps is the best for us.
Yeah,
The
map
map might
seems
be better.
far and away the best.
All right, I can roll a navigation check for Reginald if we want to do that.
Well, what I was thinking is spending knickknacks and curiosities on a map of the hive of some sort to assist whoever's getting around.
Okay.
Does that work again?
Is that something I can do, Sam?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I cut out there.
So what I want to do is I want to spend 2 wiggle wealth dice from knickknacks and curiosities on a map, whether out of date or not, of the hive to give to whoever is going to be sneaking around doing shenanigans.
Yeah, I think that works. Reginald
Okay.
can roll navigation to update it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captain Dumond will go down into the navigation room, which is full of sextants and astroglabes and modern GPS positioning systems that don't seem to work here, and pull out a massive dusty tome of maps, slam it down, and pull up a somewhat out-of-date map of the hive and say, "I forgot I had this, but I suppose it might come in handy."
So, how far does his GPSs go? Because I imagine he has like latitude, longitude for Earth, for Mars, for a few different versions of Earth. But then there's one that has like latitude, longitude, but also another coordinate for something weird like girth.
Most of them also have a temporal aspect.
Neat.
If Captain Dumont
Take
has a
left
time
on
travel
Tuesday.
episode, I'm ending the campaign.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
If Captain Dumont does a time travel episode, I'm ending the campaign.
If his time travel episode is about killing Doctor Who, that's fine though, right?
Come on now. Captain Dumond may hold Doctor Who in at least slight contempt, but that doesn't mean that he's, going to kill him.
Fair.
He just thinks the actor for the current Doctor is bad, and he's trying to get to the next one.
Okay.
Why don't you die already? I want to see who's next.
He knows all the
actually have no
iterative
idea.
characters. Like he knows every iteration of James Bond.
All right. Yes.
So, as you guys get the map, Reginald pulls it out, goes, "When the fuck did we release the tourist meet? Whatever." He looks at it. He's like, "This is number
In 20 years."
Okay. I'm just gonna. There's some stuff here that hasn't been built yet, so you get confused if you followed it. He marks off a few bridges, marks off a few areas, like this is collapsed.
There's no amusement park here yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. He looks at the attractions list, just does a big X through all of it. Goes,
Weirdly, the zipper is still there though.
it's always the last one to get packed up, or the first one deployed, apparently.
Yeah.
He looks at it, goes, "All right, this is about as close as I can get it. It should be good, at least for Tower 1 still." Yeah, deeply disturbing. You got this, man. What are? Never mind.
Adventure!
Yeah, okay.
Great.
So I'm gonna go next to Reginald, pat him on the back. I'm just gonna lean in close. It's a lot more accurate than you think it is. Just go with it. He's great. And then I'm gonna walk back with the rest of the group.
Chivalry will hand Reginald a small notebook that he's been writing in to collate what he knows about Captain Dumont.
What is contained in this notebook?
Basically, a bunch of cross references to mythology and a bunch of X's next to all of it because nothing quite fits perfectly. He has a decent enough inventory of things that Captain Dumont has brought out of the hold, though.
Okay. So about now, you guys are going to be healed up and sailing into port. As you guys approach the outer fringes of the hive, as you look out from I guess the windows of the med bay, I guess we all migrated down there.
Makes sense.
You notice a thick cover, like the windows are starting to go dark. At first, it's about what would be normal if a cloud were to cover the sky. But as you look, it just keeps getting darker, and you realize the windows are covered in inches of bees.
Oh.
As you go, you hear crew screaming, stumbling in. A lot of them are already swollen with bee stings.
Fire up the smokestacks! This is a coal-fired vessel now.
The smoke does clear out a wake of bees around you guys, allowing you guys to get a better glimpse of what's going on with the hive. You notice this looks to be about like 6 mega towers, almost woven into each other and sealed with a giant mass of beeswax in the center. Almost like it's almost like a instead of a double helix, a 6-spined helix going up and meeting at a central converging point that slowly morphs into a kind of giant honeycomb as it goes farther and farther up.
Oh God.
As you guys sail in, you notice massive boats trawling nets. It looks like the bees are just killing all of the sea life that comes near, and the boats don't have to fish, they just have to trawl up the meat. As you guys get in, the megastructure kind of dwarfs everything else around you. You see massive pillars of doors closing behind you guys as you're sealed into a water lock, and rushing water begins rising you up through the floors. Reginald nods and goes, okay, but guys, I'm not going to be able to accompany you from this point on. There's going to be a bunch of overseers who are going to break you up and escort you. Remember, they're going to get you on the elevator, use the machine breaker. That's your ticket out. Alright. Good luck, guys.
Dumont does not believe in elevators. I shall make my own way.
You're gonna die if you do.
Captain Dumont strides off the ship and disappears.
How much coyote time does he get?
Oh, Captain Dumont isn't going to go do anything.
No, I mean, like, I'm imagining him walking off the opposite side of the boat. That doesn't... Like, he has coyote... He just, like, walks off into the air.
Oh,
Walks off into the air, takes a left, and disappears.
Yeah.
he was obviously wearing the bee suit that he pulled out of his, Facts and Curiosities beforehand.
No, that came from the supply locker.
Oh, yeah. Wrong card.
Reginald's just gonna look around. He's gonna look at Sweet Tooth and Mr. President because he remembers them being the most in charge and goes, where the fuck do you find these people?
Well, he crashed a ship next to us, and I think Charlie knew him from I don't know where. So he introduced us and joined up. He's a character.
Chivalry will nod to and say, I actually met him several...
Accurate description.
Chivalry will say, I actually met him several hundred years ago.
Is anyone, like...
It's at the fake
there's
horse.
no one really remotely normal in the city, so I don't know what to expect.
Well, I really got to lock in a voice for chivalry. That was awful.
There are
I mean,
degrees, my guy. Like you, Mr. President. Like, if I looked at you and I would go, yeah, he's wearing a suit. Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
A suit in a post-apocalyptic world? Are you insane?
You're insane, sir.
you're the one wearing the suit.
Bill looks over at you and, like, gestures at his own suit. Like, what are you talking about?
Karenade also points at his suit.
Reginald didn't notice those at first, so he's looking around like,
We're all in suits.
I'm wearing a vest.
uh,
It's not quite a suit.
you guys have been hanging out with the fops, haven't you?
Bill nods
I
really
just have a really
enthusiastically.
good tailor in the slums.
Bill's
I
head-
like that you guys answered at the same time. It was perfect.
Bill and Chivalry, they just their heads just snap towards Karen and like, wait, what? Who? Where? Details, please.
Reginald's just gonna go, I'm gonna go.
I don't know that we have time for this right now.
Yeah, we don't.
All right, I reckon that's fair.
So, are you going to lead us the way, or are we supposed to find our own way? I'm not entirely certain where we're going, even with a map.
You see hive overseers coming on, they are immediately overwhelmed by the sheer number of crew Captain Dumont has. That
They're just pouring out of the fucking ship.
That Reginald has all registered as witnesses.
Are there more crew than there are bees?
No. Also, all of them are wearing some variation of a very sober charcoal gray, like, suit with, no real identifying features, and they all have very grim looks on their faces, like they're about to head off to be sentenced to death. Some of them appear to be practicing their lines as they walk.
It could be worse, though. They could be going into a den of tax auditors.
One of them shoots you a nasty look when you say that.
I want you to know that I looked out my window in real life to see if I could see this man.
Yeah, he wasn't looking at one of your characters.
Oh, I know. He was looking right at my soul. Captain Dumont knows all of us. Like I met him on the subway once.
Tom, that was a homeless man. I know they seem prophetic. I know they see farther than us normal men.
Why are you describing Charlie?
Wow.
I mean, Charlie canonically was just a homeless guy.
Met him on the same subway. It was a good day for me.
Okay.
He told you where every childhood toy you lost is.
What a horrific flex. Okay, so the overseers are coming in. They're trying to organize them to batch. The overseers are calling over more overseers. This is a much bigger job than they were prepared for. You guys recognize Cargo? He was the sympathetic overseer who popped in at you guys.
Is he still wearing that ridiculous getup?
Yes.
Good.
Does he still hate his teleport?
It's technically not his. It's someone else's that they're lending him.
Gotcha.
Yes. He nods, calls you guys over. He helps you guys offload from the ship onto what appear to be like a tiered series of docks. He goes, okay, so I'm gonna get you into a smaller elevator, not one of the freight ones that they're gonna be using for the rest of the crew. We're gonna be accompanied by an overseer named Impulse. She's not too bright, should be relatively easy to distract.
I can handle that.
Hell yeah. Alright, she's gonna be right over there. You notice an overseer with a can of beer stabs a finger into the side of the can and just shotguns it.
Brutal. What's his brand?
Pabst Platinum Ribbon.
Ooh.
They also have a can of Natural Dark.
I would have assumed they would only drink mead here.
That's why it's the good stuff. It's an import. So,
Okay.
as she's just downing a 6-pack, she looks up at you guys and goes, "Oh, you guys are here for court?
Impulse?
Oh God, do I know you?"
Yeah.
Oh?
Oh.
No, not really. But I'm pretending to distract.
No, I know. This is a character.
Charlie was. I was more for Seth.
Oh no! That was Charlie.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we met at the bar before. Remember?
You don't even need to roll lie. She's going through every bar. She realizes she cannot go through every bar she's ever been at. Goes, yeah, it was in the
karaoke bar,
in the slums.
Yeah, the slums.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
Great, doing great. It's
Does that proxy
mercenary work. She failed her lie roll. She's not doing great. She's doing terribly.
Where's Tiny Boat when you need it?
He's trying to lie to a stranger. She doesn't even realize it. That's so
Oh.
sad.
Last I heard, things weren't going that well. Glad things turned up for you.
Where'd you hear that from?
From you.
I'm gonna need a lie roll for that one. That one's a bit much.
Okay.
Is using
wait.
hyper charm here a bad idea?
I'm not using hyper charm, but I got 410 still.
Okay. She's gonna go and go. Okay, man, you know that when I get blackout, you know I don't mean the things I say, right? Like,
Yeah, listen, it's alright. It's alright. We all have, bad days. It's all good.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Nisha.
I didn't
Misha.
say I didn't say anything else, right? Like I didn't. Okay, so she failed a mind check right now.
Ouch.
Nothing terrible. Don't, just,
she basically failed. Not quite an empathy check, but like an introspection check. She's gonna go with like, oh god, who do I text when I'm blackout drunk? Oh my god, were we a thing?
Jesus.
She's just side-eyeing Mr. President and going, oh, hey, I need to go.
Alright, distraction successful, guys. Oh, where are you going? Because I'm kind of have to stick with you.
No, you don't. It's fine. Fuck. Cargo, do you got me? Cargo just gives her a thumbs up, please get yourself together. She goes, I'm trying. She just fucking sprints off.
Oh.
Sorry.
Do we have any non-guns for non-gun? What are they? Business cards for
Cowboy or
for Dr. Cowboy.
Not really. All his business cards are
Okay.
guns.
Bill has one charm and like no empathy, so he's gonna turn to Mr. President and say, "What the hell was that, Jack? You blew it. You had a chance, and you blew it."
What?
Huh?
What? He looks around like, "What? Weren't you?" Okay, all right. No, what are you trying to do there?
Don't worry, alright? Don't worry.
Okay. Bill turns away, clearly worried.
Cargo,
This was not the last time we saw Impulse.
Cargo loads you guys onto the elevator. Goes. I know she's a piece of shit, but even I think that was a little bit mean.
I was just saying we met up and had drinks together. She was the one that jumped to the conclusion of we were a thing.
She did do most of that herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
What do you mean
Wait,
jump to conclusion?
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Talk to you later.
He just goes and goes, wait, that wasn't like a power? That wasn't like a hyper charm thing?
No, I was just talking. I didn't even use Hypercharm.
Cargo's just gonna put up his fingers and go, wow, she is so much worse than I fucking thought. Okay, yeah, you guys are good to break this elevator whenever you want. If you want, I can just punch in the floor and I could break it for you when you guys step off, if that's cool.
Wait, no, that was Charlie that had that. Oh no, I have a thing for that. Reginald gave us a thing. Actually, before I say that, Reginald and Cargo were aware of each other, correct?
Cargo and Reginald? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, I'll say Reginald gave me a thing for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we're waiting until floor 175.
Unless anyone wants to do whale oil refinement.
As we pass, is there a chance for me to like get a look in there?
Are
Get,
you
One
using
perception
the
roll?
in the whale oil area?
Yeah.
Okay, are you turning some into glass, or are you just trying to do a quick...
No, I just want to try and get one perception roll in there.
Alright, go for it.
Alright, so I have 5 hard dice. The rest I have 3 wiggle die. So I'm gonna roll 2 die and see if I get an extra 10.
Okay.
Probably not, but 8 10s is still pretty good. Oh! 9 10s.
So, there is a scene playing out. I don't know if you want to see it, but important info to know is as you're looking in, you feel like a normal person wouldn't be able to even see this, but your sense is high enough that you're able to notice. There's things in the air around the whale oil refinement. They look almost like ghosts, not human-shaped, more like tube-ish. It's really hard to make out a silhouette. You just see them be at very slight distortions in the air. You see them whenever someone's working, just slide up to someone, almost like they're either whispering in their ear or listening very intently. You hear faint whispers in the air. And they all seem to be like coalescing around one guy looking over the entirety of the whale oil production. You notice they have slaves taking out these tiny, tiny vials of whale oil and taking out a little, it's like a little metal prong and dipping it into a full 55-gallon drum of whale oil that's being, or not whale oil, beeswax that's being agitated. And as they do, you see the blue of the whale oil suffuse through the wax and oil as it becomes a kind of jellied fuel. There is a scene, it looks like the overseer is stepping towards one of the slaves. Did you want to keep watching, or did you have any questions about anything that's going on there?
See the scene, actually. I think that'd be what would probably draw Charlie's attention.
Alright. You see him walking along the slaves.
Like, on top of them?
Like, next to, like he's patrolling.
Gotcha.
Walking along the slave line, sorry. And you see one of the silhouette ghost things come up to his ear, and you hear a whisper as he just, his hand shoots out and grabs one of the slave's arms and goes, "How many drops per drum of wax?" The slave goes, I know it's 1, but it was small at first, so you see him break the slave's hand and go, 1 drop. Not 1/2, not 2, 1. You are well compensated for being here. He breaks the arm further. We expect precision and we expect gratitude. The slave goes, he's like begging, he's saying sorry, he's crying. You see the ghost move from the back of the slave, whispers in overseer's ear. He lets him go and goes, "A mistake is forgivable." However, he immediately grabs the slave next to him, grabs the lining of his coat, pulls out a hidden vial of whale oil and goes, "Subterfuge is not." And he just fucking throws him off the balcony as the slave falls and cracks his back on the concrete jutting out below as he just falls down further.
Jesus.
The slaves are now working much harder. It looks like the ghosts can tell him secrets and or convey information, as well as having a very large range. You're not sure if it has mind reading, but that might, the way they kind of like leaned in to look over the workers' shoulders and like kind of leaned in, like you feel like there's some sort of reading they can do on people.
Gotcha. They have 10 hard dice and hyper empathy.
All right. Yeah. So the whale oil is well observed and well guarded, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions?
No, I think I've kind of exhausted what I can get out of one perception check and feel fair with.
Okay. Yeah, any further questions I would have asked for a perception. You do have endless on perception anyway, so I could just...
I do, yeah, but I imagine we weren't going by that specific floor for long, and I didn't want to turn anything to glass.
That's fair. Alright.
I have a question. I have a question for the party. What is the actual plan?
I don't know, we're having a meeting with a guy. I don't know a whole lot about the plan. This was kind of handed to us by Reginald. So go meet the butcher is the plan.
Okay.
The butcher is the guy who is all about starting like a slave uprising. He's basically like the
Gotcha.
resistance leader, but he's not in power right now.
So, are we here to start a slave uprising, or are we here to plan to start a slave uprising?
Plan.
Okay.
Alright. So you guys just head in the direction Cargo pointed as you guys got off the elevator. You notice this area isn't as well guarded. You don't see as many overseers here, and the ones you do kind of give a nodding, like a knowing nod to Cargo as he stands in the distance. You guys are led into a small, actual, it looks like a shop.
Did I need to crack the thing to break it at 175?
Cargo would have done that if you didn't.
Okay. Then, yeah, I'll crack the thing to break it at 175.
Alright. You hear the shuddering of gears, the control panel just springs out like a cartoon. Elevator is non-operational. Cargo nods and goes... Alright. Cargo nods and goes, okay, I can't accompany you guys into the butcher's office. I'm just going to walk by. And I'm going to make my way to a maintenance office so I can log this report so it doesn't look suspicious. Butcher will be in this shop here. He'll be the guy in the back. Good luck.
All right. Do we get the impression that we need to be sneaky here?
Not really. It looks like most of the overseers are on the butcher's side on this particular area.
Okay.
No.
Is there a stairwell anywhere?
There's like scaffolding going up and down the sides.
Okay. I would like Captain Dumont to, obviously attempting to be inconspicuous, but not actually being particularly that sneaky, like, and slightly out of breath, come off of the scaffolding and say, "Ha ha!" And then,
Did you run that whole distance?
no!
Did you have fun?
Yes!
Okay.
In the shop we go.
You see an overseer looking at some books. It looks like this is kind of like a library looking place. Going, welcome to the Records Depot. He kind of takes a look at you and goes, all right. He pulls out a book, a secret bookcase, opens up. He goes, get in.
Well, I will get in post haste.
Get in.
Absolutely.
Actually, pre-haste.
All right, once...
Captain Dumont will hesitate before going and say, "Do you have anything, a little spicy?"
throws you a
Sweet
mag.
Sweet Tooth pops back and gives
Fantastic!
you a red hot like cinnamon candy, and then returns to getting in.
Bill will hand you a flask that has a hazmat symbol on it.
Dumont is oversupplied with spicy things. And he was actually hoping for something on, southern Mexican cooking as opposed to pornography. But you take what you can get.
You're in the Records Depot, my man. All he has is records.
And apparently, records of pornography.
Hey, it's a record.
Hardcover softcore. Softcover hardcore.
Soft shell.
Hardcover.
as you guys go back, it looks like this place was obviously excavated out of a mound of beeswax. The floor is melted, hardened, and lacquered. You see rebar structure supports and like makeshift lighting hanging from the built into the walls and ceilings. You hear the faraway thrum of like generators.
Now, is there butchered meat in here?
Yes.
Okay.
What variety?
Looks like shrimp and like very seafood.
All right.
I was really concerned for a split second that you were going to say bees.
Wrong floor for that one, buddy.
I wonder if the bees are like the parasitic wasps, and they lay their eggs in shrimp. Since shrimp seem to be the baseline for the entire ecology out here.
Shrimp are as plankton to real life. You see a single man. He's got like no shirt on, big. It looks like a hive keeper suit, but the top is just down by his legs, as he's two gloves just hacking away at some meat. Black stringy hair. Half his face is carved off. Looks like he has a fake eye.
Charlie is his friend.
Goes, you at the candy shop?
Yes, sir. That's, yeah. Yes, we are.
He holds up a knife, kind of like, almost like someone using a dowsing rod. He's like letting it sway back and forth before he settles on Mr. President. Goes, you the one who speaks for him?
From time to time.
Alright. So, right now I just need to know who I'm dealing with. Your inside man's spoken highly of you. Says you're not amicable towards our current situation here. Is you right in saying that?
Yeah. We plan on trying to help liberate this.
What's your stake in it? Why?
The abolishment of the vile practice of slavery in all its forms.
Yeah. Right there. What he just said.
Chivalry will say I just don't much care for absolute authority.
Wait, are you a sovereign citizen?
No, he's Scottish.
Okay. The stuff of sovereign citizen. Got it.
He's got the Scottish amount.
Bill does have a reason too, and his eyes will go a little. His pupils get pretty small for just a second, and the tooth will flash blue. And in an absolutely sepulchral voice, he'll just say, "It's wrong to play with your food like this." And then he'll kind of blink a few times and come back to normal.
That's not
Gonna,
working.
I'm gonna like.
What a
back. You in there, buddy? You okay?
But Bill says it.
Sorry, this one's got trouble.
Bill says, "Sorry, I'm." He kind of looks up, shakes his hand for a moment, says, "I'm possessed." Looks down at the tooth. It blinks blue twice, and he nods.
The butcher with like a decisive just chop goes through about 6 inches of bone and goes, "You know, some might look down on that, but I say a man possessed is a man motivated. I can work with that."
Bill's pretty happy to hear someone agree with him, actually. Also, shrimp have bones?
He is currently not butchering a shrimp. As you guys look down, this looks like a pig, almost. Like, it's full-on red meat, which is rare. Very rare in the flooded district.
Hey, a quick question. Do you use the marrow for anything?
I do.
Ah,
He's wrapping the meat paper. No. Word around is that currently you guys are engaged with a ongoing situation in the south. Can you afford to be distracted up here with that?
yes, I believe our fight with the Iron Legion is
Postponed for right
shelved for a
now.
moment. They just finished a large raid, and we don't intend to start anything with them. I guess Hancock's supposed to be speaking for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should be able to do both. I mean, I assumed this was going to be a long, arduous task of slowly dwindling supplies first.
It don't have to be. That would be safer. He slides you guys a giant chunk of like red meat wrapped in paper. Goes, take this. My gift to you.
Big Tooth will take it.
This entire time, Captain Dumont has just been rambling on in the background.
I've been appreciating it. Like, Chivalry is over there in the corner, like, being a little tiny hype man for you.
All right. Question becomes then, how can I help you in the immediate short term? What do you need here?
Well, we're kind of going into court right now. It's the only thing we're kind of dealing with. What were the things? Sorry, guys. What were the things we talked about last time? I think we wanted shipment details of where they get the slave, how they do the whale oil, how we can disrupt the whale oil operation for them. Different ways of like sort of disrupting them is kind of things I remember.
Yeah.
Charlie will pipe up and just ask, well, I'm somewhat curious. I have a couple friends in the whalers, and they're maybe not too happy about the whale oil, or I forget what you call it, the production. They don't know where they're getting the whale oil, and that's, well, offensive to them. And just any information that you have about that,
Not much.
that you can
Not
safely
so in my
share.
wheelhouse, but I'm connected enough to know names. Specifically, a gang called the Skippers, and a man by the name of John Paul Jones come up pretty frequently.
No! He lives?
He lives and sails the seas.
Lost in damnation! I'll have his head yet.
Said he used to be kicking up storms in the Black Sea, but now he's here. He must be worth something because they pay him a king's fortune every time he shows up. Worth looking into.
Good to know.
Oh, he's worth something indeed. The bounty on his head would rival the riches of empires.
I know he has former privateer connections, but they had fallen out. That might be worth looking into if you got connections up there.
We've spoken with Barrett before, and good friends with another member.
Alright. He pulls out a pocket watch, opens it up, and goes, alright, you got about 20 minutes before they notice you guys are missing. If you need any records, talk to the boy out front, take my private elevator 2 blocks down, 1 click left.
Thank you.
Stay in touch.
Is there a way to best contact you other than coming into here?
He nods at the meat you're holding.
Awesome.
Shoot,
Put that in the science lab of the Spirit of the Unknown at some point.
I'm going to use C powers on that.
You notice that there is a single small, not exactly a knife, but like a metal pin holding together a single flap of skin. It feels like if that's removed, all of the organs would spell out. And as you see powers, the organs go from inert to alive and shifting. As if
Interesting.
possessed with an unnatural energy.
Well, I wonder if we could use this to build an Ansible.
Ooh.
The theme you're getting from this is divination.
Okay.
What's the theme?
Divination.
Divination.
Ah, never mind. Unless we could have it divine what we were trying to say at a distance before we said it, thereby creating faster than light communication.
FTL is just precog. Who knew?
As you see powers on this, you realize this. Oh, sorry, 1 second. It's also just a really high quality cut of meat.
Yum.
Might be good to throw on the grill.
Do we have any idea what it's from?
I wrote down pork. He said he was cutting up a.
You have survival, right?
Yeah, Bill has endless survival.
This is from a quill boar. They're a very, very rare species of animal. They don't really have a set biome. They basically only came in after a chunk of another like savanna reality fell into the flooded district, and the species there are just not suited for the environment, so they've been dying out quickly. This is a very rare cut of meat he's given you.
All right, Bill will kind of share that around with the group and say, "This is Quillboard. This is great stuff. This is." And
Is
then
it bad if we cook this after using it?
I'd be insulted if you didn't.
Good.
Keep the bones though; they're good for rolling.
Good to know.
And broth.
Yeah. So, what records do we want from the boyo outside?
Sorry, I'll be back in a moment.
I was asking that to the
I
party.
was gonna say shipment records of where they get of like slave shipments, where we can sort of free people before they get processed.
Oh, that's a good one. So we're asking for records. That's what we're getting into,
Yeah.
right?
Full disclosure, the boy out front can provide one set of records. He can only provide so many at a time.
Okay, that makes sense. I will also make sure we thank the butcher for meeting with us before we leave.
He gives a nod, seems to appreciate the respect.
Be safe out there.
I'd be more concerned with yourselves. You're in more danger than I am.
Danger is merely a state of mind! I am in no danger. It is everyone else who is in danger from me!
Dumont, you died yesterday.
I died, but I survived!
I died, but I live!
You know, there's something to be said about a candle burning twice as bright, but you're just setting your entire goddamn being on fire.
You're not burning, you're not living! I burn with the spirit of adventure!
He takes out like 2 Quaaludes and just rips Captain Dumont's wrist, forces them into your palm, closes your hand, and goes, "Take care of yourself out there, bud."
Of course! Onwards! And don't forget, in your time of need, I shall be there.
Please don't.
Like, Sweet Tooth's just gonna be, like, pointing away from Dumont, just, like, rubbing his temples.
Out front. He just kind of like, he goes back to butchering his meat.
Yes, so which specific record did we want to get? Do we want to go in on the
Slave shipments.
slave import record? I think that makes sense to pull.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better off the top. Well, actually, would we be able to get records of non-slave personnel? so we know how many Op 4 we'd be going up against and who they'd be and where they'd be?
I think that would be a lot of people.
Yeah, and I also think they're all handling the harvest right now. So all like essential personnel like that are here at the hive dealing with the harvest.
That is correct. So the Hive mercenary force, they don't have a lot of big names. They have a few, but what they really have is numbers and diversity. See, they hire mercenaries from all over the goddamn city. And they have enough money that they can actually get pretty decent people. It's just the morality that's a problem. So, whereas a normal gang has like maybe 20 to 30 decent talents in it, the Hive has hundreds. Pretty much every overseer is either a mercenary or like a pretty decent talent they just have on side. Now, granted, people like Cargo and the Butcher show they're not all loyal, but you don't know who you can take that risk with or not yet.
Assume no one.
Yeah, paranoia is good here. You can see like, okay, what areas are they primarily recruiting mercenaries from? Because different areas skew towards different talents. Like if they're in an area controlled by Crimsons, you know they're going to be like very physical. You know they're going to be like very high. They're very fast, very tough. If they're skewed towards like the ruins of the mall, people there fall on desperate times. You know they're going to have, you know, like weirder talents. They're going to fall within the lines of the gangs they have there. If you're looking somewhere like the Warrens, which is like where Urban Decay is from, you know they're going to be very, very paranormal. You should expect weird shit. So you could get info from there, but it may not. It won't be that detailed. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like you're not going to get a list of names.
I think Chris's idea is probably
The slave shipment.
best thing I can. Yeah, that's the best thing I can come up with.
Okay. As you ask the record keeper, he's gonna go, okay, that's a lot of documents up front. Did you want recently, or did you want to look historically? Did you want to look for like historic trends? Or did you just want like in the last cycle or so? What are we filtering by here?
We're trying to like see where they're gonna be going for slave shipments in the
where
next
they're
month.
Okay. He goes around.
The next like month or two.
So I don't have anything in concrete because that's a bit of a confidential thing, but I have population projections, raid allocations, and resource deployment. I take that, correlate, Okay. So they're recruiting pretty heavily from the area around Shrimptown, the refugees. They're considering partial levy of the rice fields, but primarily, he points out a few. There are settlements known as what are called like satellite settlements, which are, Mr. President would recognize it, like Logan would be considered a satellite settlement of 5 Points. Where it's like the town has people, it's developed, but it's basically treated as being an extension of this much larger and more powerful area. And what they're going for are what are known as like satellite settlements of the hub, because you guys don't project force out that much. Second is every cycle. They have two major people who import from a foreign perspective. One is the Crimsons. The Crimsons are massive raiders in the slums. The Crimsons can basically set like the number of people they get from the Crimsons is more than half of all their imported slaves.
So that'd be like a major settlement we should try to stop.
Yeah, if you can disrupt trade with the Crimsons, because the Crimsons, they're not only in the residential district, which massively outpopulates the flooded district. The Crimsons control multiple settlements. They control a good chunk of the middle slums. So like they're a major force. The second people, they've been this second group that's selling people is the Reich, which historically was a pretty minor input, but recently they've been really ramping up the number of people coming in.
Yeah, they have a thing coming up soon. Not excited about it.
That seems to imply the Reich is displacing a large number of people and it's been ramping up, yeah?
I don't know how much you know about the Goodberry Festival in the slums, but I believe they're the host for it this year.
I know the Colonel cares about that. I think the Hive sends representatives, but that's not on my level. Alright, so he takes out a waxed seal and stamp, collects all the records into a single manila envelope, stamps it, and from the pool of melted wax, an exact copy of the records show up. He hands you the copy and goes, alright, I'll try and keep these stable. I'll disperse them. No one will know they're missing. Because they're not. Alright, you guys should...
Perfect, thank you. And yeah, we'll go take the private elevator. Seth forgets exactly how he said to take it, but...
Yeah, just 2 down, 1 over. It's close.
Yeah.
Mom does not believe in elevators.
I need to ask about that, but not now.
If you're asking for more background than Captain Dumont does not believe in elevators, we're gonna have a problem.
You should just Captain Dumont just starts sprinting down and out.
Yes.
Cargo's waiting by the elevator. He's keeping it open and holding it on the floor for you guys.
Howdy.
Cool. Everyone's going on? Okay, cool. As you guys go on. What's up?
We should store the meat and the documents in the puppet hole.
Yes. That's a good call.
Bend over, Tom.
That's a very slight disrespect. I think Tom might be away.
Tom's AFK. It's fine.
Okay, we can.
Oh, wait, no, it happened. I've been back for a few minutes. I guess I didn't unmute.
Oh,
Dun
there
dun
it is.
dun.
How
Hello,
dare
Tom.
you not take
We're
it?
making a deposit.
You were making a deposit into the puppet
What are you
hole.
depositing into?
The butcher's meat. I can't say that.
How big is
it? It's a big slab, man. It's pretty
About
girthy.
200 pounds.
No, that's not what I mean. Like, what's its dimensions?
It's
About
Cyl-
2 feet
cylindrical?
high. About cylindrical. I want to. Yeah, it's mostly fine. So it's gonna be about radius 2 feet, or no, 1.5 feet.
Chivalry can't go in the puppet hole then.
You can get the documents in there at least.
Yeah.
Get the documents in.
Nothing about that phrase makes me happy. You can get them in the puppet hole. Ugh.
What if we stretch the puppet hole with like some lube or something?
That doesn't work.
No, you can't stretch his hole. It's too big. The meat's not gonna fit.
Oh god.
When did they say Chivalry's going to enter combat with you if you don't agree with them how the puppet hole works?
Chivalry's gonna enter combat with real life Chris.
Tom,
The president understands this. It's just Chris really cannot get over the fact you named something the puppet hole.
I only named it that
Christopher-
because when I first brought it up, Sam thought it was gross, so it had to be called that.
Tom, if it makes you feel better, I do imagine it between his shoulder blades.
Thank you.
I know it's that.
Cargo's gonna take a knife and he's gonna cut off one of his literal hundreds of cargo pockets. and he's going to offer it to you guys.
Thanks.
Sweet Tooth will take it, and or actually, if Mr.
The
Preston's
meat in there.
So as you guys tip the meat into the pocket, it engorges horrifically to the point where it looks like an overstuffed burlap sack. But as you seal the button and the Velcro, it kind of contracts until it's slowly the size of a normal pocket again.
Sandy?
Okay. And I guess I will just store that on myself.
Yeah, we have the puppet hole. Why not?
Carter's gonna nod and go, be very careful if that button pops, it's gonna all shoot out at once.
Yeah, also, like, putting... Is it just D&D that, like, putting,
that's just
like...
D&D.
Okay, then we'll put it in the puppet hole.
That would create a very interesting problem because while that would not harm chivalry, it would never be able to come out.
No, see, all we would do is we would use a candy that gives you a size shift increase.
You cannot
And-
say chivalry size shift is immutable.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to change your size
We
shift.
can
I'm going to
reach up
change
there
your
and just
size
start
shift.
pulling out chunks of it.
Even better, side shift someone down, sneak someone into the puppet hole.
Oh, if you do that, I have some stuff about the Fantastic Voyage.
I mean, I feel like we have to just send the spirit in there.
Yeah.
Magic school bus it up. Oh, now I almost want that to happen. Almost.
Future for later. So as you guys are going up, you see the crew of the Spirit of the Unknown just mobbing a single courtroom. You hear a bunch of yelling. You hear gavels pounding. You hear gunshots.
Screamed objection that trails off into a scream of agony.
Oh. So, Chivalry will turn to no one in particular and say, now, only thing I know about modern courtrooms, watching the lad play something called Ace Attorney. You're looking at here.
We lost Chris. That one got Chris.
He's dead. He's dead, Jim.
Chivalry asks,
It's
Sure.
law, Jim, but not as we know it.
Chivalry asks Cargo what specifically we're looking at in here. What's the general shape of these things? How do they work?
Basically, they're just going to call character witnesses and expert witnesses who can provide context and or testimony to the triumvirate. And when two of the three triumvirate judges, or elocutors, I guess they're called, come to a consensus, then your verdict will be handed out. It sounds like they're trying to call all of the crew of the Spirit of the Unknown, but it sounds like they're about 2 sentences away from being omitted from the court. Let's look in. Hey, Derek. So there's a crew of the Spirit of the Unknown on the stand.
He is currently giving his life story and is at roughly the age of 16 and is not stopping or allowing himself to be interrupted no matter how desperately people try.
So you see Elocutor Cyril, Cyril, Siri, and Cyril, Cece, and Cecil. There we are. Okay.
Excellent. Type that out right this instant, young man.
Cyril, Cecil, Siri.
You yourself complained about having made Sheriff Black, and you made something worse. We're going to have a long conversation about this later.
Wait, how is this worse than Sheriff Black? What the hell is the problem?
It's not. It's really similar, and I'm giving him a hard time.
So, you see Elocutor Cyril wave a hand and one of those obscenely long barber canes comes in from off screen and just yanks him from the from the witness chair.
He ducks, desperately tries to dodge, and then says, "I wasn't done!" as he's jerked off stage.
Hey now.
All right, Cecil's gonna look down and go, "Well, that was an enormous waste of time." All right, motion to strike all further crew testimony.
There is immediately an outcry of anger and objections, and several crew members wearing your typical lawyer gear and holding copies of the rules and regulations of the Hive simultaneously shoot to their feet and start screaming objections.
Cyril bangs her gavel and goes, "Do I need to remind you don't have rights? I will release the bees!"
Says, "Do it, you won't," and then puts on a beekeeper's outfit while the rest start screaming and running for cover.
He came prepared.
Alright, so that clears out the crew, just leaving the candy shop core staff and a few familiar faces.
We have our lawyers with us, right?
Yeah, so, I don't believe, actually no, did you guys pay Quartz?
Yeah, he was like $1,000.
Yeah, I don't know if we paid Quartz to come with us.
Captain Dumont is more than willing to be your lawyer.
But you do have Salvador.
We do have Sal, yeah.
Alright, character witness 1. This will be our Hive representative at Verbal Kink, revealing what they know of the candy shop and its members.
That's gonna
Oh,
only
so we
end
can
poorly.
have character witnesses, Sam, you son of a bitch.
Hey, I said you guys couldn't. I didn't say the Hive couldn't. So,
Bastards!
yeah, they cheat. You don't have rights. What do you expect?
Which one of the justices is the kangaroo?
That'd be Cecil.
In spirit, all of them. So,
Okay.
the guy gets up, sits down, and goes, "Well, this is an interesting report. When I spoke to the bartender, he got a 1,000-yard stare and said the first interaction he really remembers with them is when they brought a full-on corpse into the restaurant portion of the business, and none of them seemed to really have a solid idea of why that was a bad thing to do. The second time was when the candy shop owner showed up with a Nazi, but also didn't seem to realize immediately that he was a Nazi. Verbal Kink himself has stated, "I don't think they're bad, I just fundamentally don't think they understand what a candy shop is or does."
I mean, I knew he would have our number, but shit.
We would like to reiterate that the candy shop is not open after what we believe to be almost at least a month of being ready to, and they have sold a total of 3 pounds of candy.
That's technically not true. I did sell, like, at least an 80-pound bag of candy near the start of the game.
Yeah, but they didn't have records of that.
I told you should have opened it up and sold the crib.
Do they have records of the subsidiary that is Bayou Bills Discount Louisiana Rotisserie?
It's too recent. They don't have info on that.
Shit.
Second,
You brought your own records.
he flips through it a little bit and goes, they've been involved in several armed conflicts and have functioned more as a paramilitary group in ongoing conflicts throughout the flooded district. They often do not get paid and seemed to do it just because. Notable exploits involve armed conflict against urban decay, striking out and coming back with whaler technology, instituting a water purifier for the hub, and both armed conflicts in Shrimptown and the hub, both in violation of standing treaties regarding sovereignty of satellite nations. That's all I got from Verbal Kink. I would like to excuse any further testimony. Judge Cyril goes, denied! Cecil goes, denying Cyril, and then Siri goes, approved. And the witness leaves. Alright. It sounds as if is this the candy? They look down at you guys.
Wait. Captain Dumond will stand and say, objection! I wish to cross-examine the witness!
Judge Siri goes, you don't cross-examine... and then in revenge, the judge who was shot down goes, motion to deny! And the middle judge goes, motion approved. Cross-examine. And the judge just goes, what the fuck are you guys doing? Captain Dumond, you may examine the witness.
Excellent! You, sir!
You have lawyer buddies as well, Dubon. You have Sal Jr. with you and Quartz.
Don't need them.
Utterly irrelevant. Captain Dumond has no intention of following any sort of procedure.
Don't
He would
need
be
'em.
here to make a mockery of this court, but it's already a mockery of itself.
It's true.
Captain Dumond will, having not actually paid attention to anything the witness said, because I wasn't actually listening, I was trying to figure out how to export something to PDF, will say, you, sir, do you consider yourself a fine, upstanding, moral individual?
The witness leans in and goes, no, I work for slavers.
At least you have the very basest ability to acknowledge your moral failings. And in that case, what makes you think you have the ability or standing to give witness to others' character?
Well, in short, I'm a qualified character analyst. I've done criminal psychology for both the FSB and NCIS. I've worked with Verbal Kink on several consulting jobs, and quite frankly, if you don't believe my testimony, I have correlated testimony of other trusted witnesses.
Irrelevant! You are morally bankrupt, psychologically flawed, and frankly, I motion to dismiss all of your testimony as being baseless slander.
All three judges deny.
This court is a mockery! Captain Dumond will sit back down. No further questions.
The witness is just gonna go, hey, you said it, not me, and he's just gonna get up and leave.
The fuck's an NCIS?
Naval Criminal Investigative Service.
That was a TV show.
No, I think
Also an actual thing that exists.
yeah, but that was Propulsion just sitting there going, the fuck is an NCIS?
Bill whispers over to you and says, that's when you have two hackers sharing one keyboard.
The fuck is a hacker? The fuck is a keyboard?
The fuck are you?
Propulsion, later I'm gonna have to talk with you more about where you're from, because I got some questions, buddy.
I'm from the flooded district.
All
We ain't
right.
got sheet.
Calling witness from the candy shop, Sweet Tooth, aka Andrew Bird. Please take the seat.
Sweet Tooth will take the seat.
Now, Mr. Bird, we understand you are the purveyor and owner of the candy shop, PMC.
I believe out of game. Would we not be an LLC?
I thought we were a GmbH.
Yeah, we'd be an LLC.
Yeah, you would be an LLC. You can correct them, you know.
That would be an LLC. Not a PMC.
Understood. So, question number one. Cyril looks down at her notes, goes, so you are a candy shop. You do sell candy, correct?
Yes, we do. The grand opening is actually tomorrow.
Okay.
It has been tomorrow for 6 months.
Can you
No, it's
please
tomorrow.
explain how you
Today.
keep ending up in armed conflicts with very powerful groups?
Keep invading the candy shop. They keep postponing the grand opening.
People keep talking shit.
I like the idea of just like they keep postponing the grand opening. We've been trying to open for months.
Urban Decay is anti-diabetes, and we can't have that.
Sorry, there was a lot of talking. Give me a second to think of how I want to answer this.
It's actually a pretty tricky question.
That's a good one, Derek.
Well, I believe candy is a good method of bringing joy into people's lives, and that's really the primary thing I want to do with that. One other way that we tend to go about that is whether or not we're explicitly successful. When we see places where people's lives are being made worse, we try and perhaps intervene to reduce that, because it has the same effect as selling candy. The goal is the same, it's just different means.
Your group has murdered several people, and this is equivalent to selling candy in your eyes.
Not equivalent, but serving a similar goal.
Sometimes to bring joy, you gotta kneecap a motherfucker.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bird, can you please elaborate? You see where the court may be confused as to how breaking a jaw and making a jawbreaker, while having surface similarities, seem to be very disconnected in different actions, correct?
Well, I'm certainly happier now that his jaw's broken.
So, we don't break a jaw for no purpose. When we're doing something, we are trying to accomplish something in the goal of what we view as the betterment of the world.
So you are a political organization or an activist non-profit?
An LLC.
I believe LLC is still technically what we're registered as.
It seems to be that your store is more a front for funneling money into illicit paramilitary operations.
Correction! We don't make any money.
Do you say that in character?
Yes!
He stops at that and goes, I'd still like to hear Mr. Bird's response.
Sweet Tooth's just going to point at him. I was going to say the same thing. We really have made very little money doing this. That's not our goal.
If we aren't making money from our business, we can't be funneling it into our paramilitary escapades.
Success notwithstanding, you do.
Oh no, we weren't taking payment. We didn't fail to make money. That wasn't the goal.
So you just go out and do these things unprompted.
You get your jollies off by oppressing vulnerable minorities. I get my jollies off by murdering people oppressing vulnerable minorities.
That's not the best thing to say in this situation.
Damn, Carinade's feeling really conflicted right
Captain
now.
Dumont at least at one point explicitly said to a member of the Hive that he was going to extinguish their benighted civilization, and the guy got away, so...
Siri is gonna cut and go, alright.
Duct tape for him?
So you have You have worked with the Hub at several points in the past. In fact, via documents from Verbal Kink, we do see that Wheezy's Wharf, a known collaborator of the FOPS and the current presiding power of the Hub, have both paid for and constructed the warehouse you inhabit.
So since it's been a lot less time in game, would you remind me what exactly we did that got us the warehouse? Because I
You
do not.
assassinated the church official.
So
Nice. First, we kill the missionaries.
So you see, goods can be exchanged for services. we did a service.
I have a
lost us
specific
a
set of
PC.
skills.
We did a service that lost us a PC.
Yes, we were doing something to alleviate pressure from Urban Decay's gang's presence in the hub, which I don't know how much you know about Urban Decay, but I would imagine enough since he was already mentioned. His presence is generally considered a bad thing. In exchange for that, we were provided and paid in land and a warehouse and tools to make candy.
Really? Because the document here says you executed one Lazarus of the Inquisition faction.
Yes, if the Inquisition
Actually,
had been
technically, we
able...
didn't kill him. Urban Decay did.
Animal killed him, technically, a member of the FOPS who they're accusing you of working with.
Yeah.
That was known in our group that executed the men. Additionally, that truly was alleviating Urban Decay presence. We had it under good authority from a information broker that were the. Give me a second to think how I want to word this. Sorry. I keep wanting to call them the Order. We're the Inquisition to have an increased presence. That would be met with increased presence of Urban Decay members. Which I believe would A, have set the hub into general warfare, which would have had a lot more casualties, and would have caused lasting damages due to the inherent nature of many of the members of the Urban Decay group.
And the fact that the FOPS, the, again, presiding power in the hub, have had long-standing grievances with the church and have both then immediately funded your organization afterwards, has nothing to do with that?
Well, let me think. It has nothing to do with our motivations in helping it, no. Well, I mean, I suppose payment for setting up our shop was somewhat of a motivation. We at the time didn't have land, we needed land. But we also morally agreed with what they were doing. The other option was allowing the Inquisition to rise in warfare that I had spoken about. The information that this would happen, and this is, I believe I'm remembering this correctly, we were told that information, how that would play out by either Chernov or Quartz had explained that to us. This is a while, so I could be remembering that incorrectly, but...
I'm pretty sure just the FOPS said that portion.
I think we got it from... I thought we got it from...
Chernov spoke
Chernov
about
as
healers in general. He used a few Inquisition talents as examples.
So it would be reasonable that, like, it's enough that that is what I personally am remembering it as, that we got supporting information from Chernov's group. So, is it safe to say, honestly, that we had confirmation from that, from an outside group? Because that's what I am genuinely remembering. Yeah. We had confirmation that that would be how things would play out from an outside information broker. And had no reason to distrust the logic of the FOPS. That's how it would play out, and well, we wanted to avoid that scenario on the hub.
Judge Cecil is going to look down at his papers and go, I just got one question for you. Do you
Yes.
actually make candy?
Yes, I have plenty on me. Do you want a sample right now? That would probably be conflict of interest.
I'll be like going, no. What are you doing?
He pulls his apron forward, and they're just like pieces of candy just fall out.
Cecil's gonna down and go, that seems like a shopkeeper to me, I don't know. And can you tell us about... We don't have much information on this, actually, so I guess I have 2 questions. My bad.
Sure.
You recently had armed conflict with the Iron Legion, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Hold on a second. Just as an aside, when he mentions the Iron Legion, the temperature in the room's going to go up a little bit.
Propulsion Angie.
Angie.
Cecil's gonna nod and go, what prompted the conflict with the Iron Legion?
A friend of ours that we made. This is his name was Trigor, correct?
Yes.
A friend of ours that we made in the hub. He helped us out, so we were in turn doing a favor. Had mentioned that the Iron Legion had subjugated the Gear Boys faction, and they're occupying the Foundry. Trigard, being one of the Gear Boys, obviously had issue with this. So we decided that since
Wait, before... Out of character. Are you talking about Tristan?
No. Tristan Trigor is the gear boy who looks like a 8 foot tall.
I always forget about that.
Yeah, Tristan was the one we violated another treaty with Tristan and then somehow smoothed it over. But Tristan was the one that informed us about the
raid
on the flotilla and then gave us the targets and the people who he could work with and basically just make the Iron Legion less of a shit place.
So back to what I was saying. Since the Iron Legion is a raiding group that we, let's say, don't have a fond view of, and Gear Boys are a rather positive influence from our point of view, although not being a flooded district local myself, I am not 100% certain. They were largely subjugated by the time I got here, but my understanding is that they're a positive influence. We thought it would be best to assist in the liberation. Additionally, looking at logical pathing, our shop would very likely be destroyed on the path of them moving north, because I have, as I'm sure you're aware, heard the rumors that they're gearing up for a conflict with, well, the Hive.
Cecil's gonna nod and go, I am very aware, believe me. And Siri's gonna realize what's going on and go, oh god damn it. You know, this just seems like a shop with a private military contract. That seems perfectly reasonable to me. Now, final question for you, Mr. Bird. If we were to allow you to continue, do you believe that your conflict with the Iron Legion would escalate and or continue as it has been?
Yes, we have not at current liberated the Foundry. We have we had a conflict that ended in the loss of lives of a few of key members of the Iron Legion, and well, we're not done since the Foundry is not liberated.
So you guys are getting the impression that Cecil is very fucking against the Iron Legion and likes that you guys have been fucking them up.
Mm-hmm.
Siri's gonna go, alright, witness dismissed. Cecil's gonna go, denied. And Cyril's gonna go, denying the denied. Alright. You're dismissed, Mr. Bird.
Thank you for listening. And he'll get up and go join the rest of the group.
Alright, next, Siri's gonna go, alright, next witness, the fop among us. Bayou Bill. Full name William Beauregard Sherman, I believe.
Yeah, that's the one. Bill gets up and takes the stand.
Siri opens questioning. Now, Mr. Sherman, from what I gather, you are a dyed-in-the-wool member of the FOPS. Is that correct?
I would say so. Yes, I did join them for my own purposes and to help further a relationship between our group and theirs, as they are a major power in the hub.
So you would say... So from an outside perspective, it could be reasonable to see your connection to the FOPS and the candy shop, correct? You are still a member of the candy shop, is that correct?
Yes.
So you are an undeniable connection between the FOPS and the Candy Shop LLC. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you're just gonna smile when they say LLC.
Yes, but there are some caveats to that.
We will ask
Namely-
about them if they become relevant. Please only answer the questions asked.
Then yes.
Cecil's gonna smack his hammer and go, objection, and then Cyril's gonna go, objection rebuked. Continue.
Objection upheld! All knowledge is sacred! Captain Dumont shoots to his feet.
Siri's gonna point. Captain, contain yourself, or so.
I am uncontainable!
Hey, Captain Dumont has the thing where people feel like they've met him before, even if they haven't. At that point, Cyril is going to go, oh my god, that's Captain...
I'm back, sorry.
That's Captain Dumont.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
Captain, you will have your time upon the stand. Please, just hold tight for one more minute. And the other two judges look at her as if she's insane. They're going,
Captain Dumont will grudgingly nod and sit down, but every time there is any sign of dissent, he'll make a small whistling noise like an overheating teapot.
Charlie's, I'm imagining sitting next to him and is just gonna like put his hand on his shoulder anytime something happens, just to like, he wouldn't actually be able to stop him if he tried to stand up, but like, he can say he tried.
Or that four hard dice of interference to you trying to stop me.
Chivalry will make eye contact with Siri from the I actually don't really know where we're sitting at the moment, but he'll make eye contact with Siri and very slowly hold up some duct tape, just nod his head towards Captain Dumont and just nod with...
4 hard dice of interference dice! You duct taping me.
Now, Mr. Sherman.
Yes.
You also do not deny that there were reports of FOP members involved with your raid on the flotilla.
I do not deny this.
Ooh.
Now, that
We
brings
weren't
us to
raiding
the
the flotilla.
point of... Sorry, I need 1 second to word this question very carefully. So, you also do not deny that there has been a long-standing history of cooperation between the various factions in the hub and the candy shop. Is that correct?
For this, I would like to, if I am allowed, present a piece of evidence, because that is something of a complicated question for me to answer.
It looks like Siri moves to deny, but the other two judges both approve it immediately.
Now, I will first preface this by saying that I joined the candy shop relatively late into its existence. I had been stuck in a negative event related to my focus that is obviously attached to my face here. And they helped me and have been providing me aid in getting through this and learning to deal with some of the negative side effects of this focus. This is also why I sought to join the FOPS. However, as a late member, I don't really have the best idea of what has happened before I joined the faction, to the extent that, and if you would allow me to reach into my jacket to collect the piece of evidence. He kind of looks at the judges to see if they're okay with him
Siri
doing that.
raises a hand for the bailiffs to ready their weapons just in case, and then motions for you to continue.
Keep that noise.
Bill will take out a small silver coin from his jacket. On one side it has a key, on the other side it has the word info, and says, and says,
Wow.
and Bill says, the extent to which our faction does not share information within itself is so powerful and so widespread that I have created these as a joke and distributed them to other members. I refer to them as InfoSec medallions.
Can't leak what you don't know!
I cannot really, with any great accuracy, answer how long-standing the relationship between the candy shop and any other faction might be. And he sort of hand the InfoSec medallion to one of the bailiffs to get so that they can present it to the judges.
The judges look it over, and Cyril is gonna go, oh my god, he's not joking. Motion to dismiss witness on lack of credibility. This guy obviously...
Motion to dismiss what?
Sam, you cut out.
Sam?
Petition to dismiss witness on
Sam!
like grounds that they don't know much, basically.
Oh no, Sam died.
Goodbye,
Hold on a
Sam.
second. I'll go check.
Hold on.
Oh?
I remember my friend Sam.
You guys
Sam?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hi.
Okay, motion to dismiss witness on lack of credibility, basically. Like, they looked at the medallion that, like, he doesn't know.
You don't know shit.
All right, so Bill will just kind of nod when they say that. Wait.
Siri's gonna go, he's an obvious connection to the... And then Cecil's gonna go, Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Who are the three leaders of the FOPs?
Any boat.
I am only aware of Corey as he is the only one I've ever spoken to in that capacity.
Yeah, we got nothing here. He just knocks the hammer. He's like, you're good to go, Mr. Sherman. And Siri's like, you're joking.
As Bill gets up, he says, you can keep the coin if you like. It is solid silver, and I have so many of them. And he'll go and sit back into...
Wait, you got to give them the coin and I didn't get to give them candy?
Well, you see, the coin was evidence and the candy wasn't. There's a big difference.
Can I present candy to the judges as evidence that I make candy?
You already did, kind of.
Cyril is gonna put it in his her pocket and go, I'll just hold on to this evidence. And Cecil's gonna go, no, you're fucking not. Put it back in the bin.
I have been waiting for like a year to have a real story reason to make the fucking InfoSec medallions canon.
It kind of has been a year.
Yeah, Cyril's gonna go, now I had a witness I would like to call, but the venerable Captain Dumond, if you would please take the stand.
Captain Durand will shoot to his feet and say, I do not regard this court as having the standing or right to call me to account for anything. That being said, he will take the stand.
There we go.
Does the captain have a first name for the purposes of the law?
No!
His first name is Captain.
His last name's Dumont.
So, now, Captain, I understand you feel a great deal of antagonism towards our settlement here.
I will see you all buried in a shallow grave, yes?
Mm-hmm. And with your connection to this what is your connection to this here candy shop?
Fellow travelers!
From my understanding...
I answer to none but her dread majesty, Anna Nazinga, the marble lady, protector of the Fadamesnas, smelter of history's defender of freedom, patron saint of the horizon, eternal wanderer.
Understood. So why are you working at a candy shop? Are they paying you?
Working?
What is your relationship to the candy shop?
They keep killing people that I want dead.
They're stunned by that. So the candy shop, you would say, is responsible for several conflicts and participates in relatively high mortality conflicts on a semi-frequent basis, correct?
That depends on your definition of high mortality compared to the average statistics of a well-to-do member of the what's the name of this area?
The flooded district?
The flooded district. Of the flooded district, I would say that they are practically upstanding citizens with a body count mere percentage points off of that of the more egregious members.
Cecil's going, well, he has us there. Shut up!
I like Cecil.
I really like this character dynamic, Sam. Thank you.
Cyril's gonna go. And you would not deny that your presence may have some bearing on the goals and objectives that the candy shop may pursue regarding these conflicts.
I object to that assertion, yes.
And why not? Do they not listen to all of their members? Do you not have feedback when they present a plan of action?
I do not consider myself a member of the candy shop.
You're not. And yet you transport them and seemingly work with them.
Fellow travelers on a journey towards freedom and adventure.
Siri is gonna nudge her and go, he's not on the Verbal Kink list. She's what? Yeah, he's not listed as part of their group on Verbal Kink. You sure?
Wait, does the captain and his crew have their own listing in the bar?
They're just not listed as part of the candy shop. And going, so when the flotilla raid so when the raid on Shrimp Town occurred, and you joined them, both participated in the conflict and transported them, that was just because.
Adventure, freedom, and the destruction of those who would oppose both. Yes.
Siri's gonna nod and go, move to dismiss the witness on grounds of madness.
I object to your right to dismiss me.
Cecil's gonna go,
Oh.
seems reasonable to me. Approved.
Dismissed on madness. So good.
Last in damnation, you will rue the day you had the temerity to call me to the stand, dismiss me, and otherwise lay eyes upon me, you vile excuses for human beings. And he'll go take a seat.
Cecil's gonna go, ooh, I believe it's my turn. You there, boy on fire.
I'm not on fire yet.
Excellent, take the stand.
Propulsion's gonna go sit down.
Now, which one are you? Who are you?
My name is David Matthews, otherwise known as Propulsion.
Now, it says here, you're actually with a group known as the Neighborhood, a settlement that was recently wiped out by the Iron Legion. Is that correct?
Well, not quite wiped out and not quite a group anymore, but yes.
I'm glad to hear there were survivors, son. Now, why are you working with a candy shop of all things?
Well, I was shopping around for some new allies, because the whole Iron Legion thing happened. And these guys seem to be the most proactive in making sure people don't fucking die to assholes, such as yourselves in the Iron Legion.
Now, I need to reiterate, you have no candy-making experience whatsoever, nor do you ever intend to make candy. Is that correct?
I don't know about never intending to. It could be a retirement thing. I don't think that far ahead. I'm 19.
But you are a member of the candy shop.
Sweet Tooth's gonna raise his hand.
Cecil's gonna go, yes, Mr. Bird.
He helps me warm up the candy somewhat. He can get it to the boiling point a lot faster than just the ovens we have, or stoves, I guess.
Got it.
There's a lot of teenage angst in here that fuels
So-
the fire.
So, Mr. Matthews, it seems to me your primary motivation for joining the candy shop is they seem to be very aggressive towards the Iron Legion, and you like that. Is that correct?
Sam, we can't hear you.
I want to come in here and
Da-ba-ba. Da-da-da. How about now? Guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So Cecil's going to look down and go, okay. I'm connecting the Ethernet. Hold on.
why do you have that disconnected?
It was loose in the socket.
Get a better socket.
It's in the laptop.
There's a micro center 20 minutes away.
Get it better.
All right. It's in. We're good. Okay.
Her voice, we're in.
So, Mr. Matthews, it seems to me as if your primary motivation is the destruction of the Iron Legion. And the candy shop you joined explicitly because they are the most anti-Iron Legion faction you have access to.
That's not quite true.
Which part is inaccurate?
My main goal being the destruction of the Iron Legion. My main goal is the continued survival of the survivors of the neighborhood, and also the death of Lone Star. That one's done. On to the first point. These guys are the most proactive in the elimination of threats to a civilian population, from what I have seen.
Sell candy if there's nobody left to sell candy to.
So
All
that's
right.
why I joined up with them.
As I'm saying, this seems to be more in line with a private corporation's PMC ensuring the safety and continued existence of its customers. Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Do you have anything further to add?
Please don't bring up the Iron Legion again. Again, the teenage angst. And he just gets up and walks back to the bench.
Motion to allow Mr. Matthews to leave the room under grounds of emotional distress, and both the judges just approve it. You may leave
But,
if
like-
you'd like to, Mr. Matthews.
Charlie's
I
gonna
stand
lean
with
over. We're gonna bring up the Iron Legion again.
I stand with the people who stand with me. And
Alright.
he sits down at the defendant table.
Calling now John Hannibal Hancock.
I'll stand up and slowly walk over. Tom, is it okay if I pull out one of the coins you had and gave me and just put it on the stand?
What, InfoSec medallion?
I will stick it and place the InfoSec medallion in front of me.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Why didn't you say that? We could have just quoted it.
I'm sorry.
No, say that out loud.
I
Say that
imagine
out loud.
Propulsion has so much teenage angst that if you hit him, he'd shoot out MCR CDs like Sonic shoots rings.
Thank you. I'm quoting that.
All right.
Propulsion's just me living out all the teenage angst I didn't get to do.
But you're full of MCR CDs?
No, I'm full of Linkin Park CDs.
Oh.
Okay.
I cannot be comfortable.
Now, Mr. Hancock.
Yes.
This is Cyril speaking. she's going to look down at her notes and go, from what I understand, you have no history of armed conflicts.
No.
Your settlement was displaced by the Reich, and you simply ended up here as a refugee. What made you join an organization such as the Candy Shop, almost seemingly from your first day here?
In community engagement. I'm the community.
engagement.
Yeah, I'm the community engagement manager for the Candy Shop once it opens.
So why have you been involved in several conflicts?
I think that answers itself. I mean, it's the same words, community engagement.
Sometimes you're engaging them with book readings at the local library, and sometimes you're engaging them with artillery.
Yeah.
So, from the Candy
you
Shop's
can't-
perspective, there is no difference. In other words, there's no delineation between civilian outreach and armed engagement in ongoing conflicts between settlements to you.
Yeah. I mean, any news is good news, right?
No, there is very much such a thing as bad news, Mr. Hancock. This is very obviously not going anywhere close to what Cyril was expecting. And going, so if left unprompted, the Candy Shop would continue to engage in military action and intervene in armed conflicts between existing settlements. Is that correct?
Probably with the Iron Legion specifically. And mainly threats to the hub. I mean, that's what we've mainly tackled, is things that have been threats to the hub. Have we not?
And yet groups you affiliate with, she says, looking at Captain Dumond, having to hold herself back from saying members, are explicitly hostile to our settlement here.
Captain Dumont will give her a very ugly grin.
The great Captain Dumond is free to do as he likes outside of, working hours with us.
Captain Dumont will train at being called the Great.
Bill will
I'd also
hand
like
the
to point
captain
out. Sorry.
Bill will hand the captain a InfoSec medallion in an attempt to mollify him.
I'd also like to point out that Propulsion did actively insult the Hive during his
Yeah, that's true.
Wait.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, what about your member Propulsion there, Mr. Matthews? He seemed very discontent with our settlement here. How can we be sure your group will not decide that our practices don't suit your fancy and intervene in a rather direct fashion, costing both the lives of our staff and civilians?
Are you a direct threat to the hub? I believe we get food from you, so I would guess not, right?
Make a persuasion check for me. You're free, if you want to use Hypercharm, that's on you, but please do roll.
I am not using Hypercharm, because they still have a lot of dice no matter what. I got 3 10s.
She's going to squint. Cecil's going to go, he has a point. I don't know what to tell you.
Propulsion would like to raise his hand.
Denied. Cecil's going to bang his hand before anything stupid can happen.
Nice.
Denied.
Assyria's going to go, I'd like to call the one in the suit, she says, pointing to Karenade there. And Cecil's going to go, and Cyril's going to bang her hammer and go, approved.
I hand Karenade the InfoSec medallion.
Karenade's just gonna smooth out his vest, adjust everything, walk over and sit down straight backed, hands like just folded on the table in front of him on the witness podium, and just.
Now, Mr. Tanner, you are, beginning and end, a mercenary, is that correct?
Correct.
You have no, shall we say, people skills, correct? From a civilian business perspective, I mean, no insult to you.
Correct.
So, you have joined up with this candy shop. Is it true? Would it be correct to say explicitly for the purposes of intervening both in domestic and foreign conflicts to the hub? Is that correct?
That would be incorrect.
Why have you joined the candy shop, Mr. Tanner?
I heard they took down Urban Decay. I like to test my skills with the best, and Urban Decay was one of the best. So whoever took him down has to be included in that statement.
By testing your skills, you do mean conflict, correct? Intervention, not necessarily intervention, but you're a gunner.
Conflict, sharpshooting, 3-gun competition.
But you didn't join...
It's all testing my skills.
You didn't join the candy shop because you expected an abundance of shooting competitions.
That depends on your definition of shooting competitions.
The standard one.
Indeed.
Objection, Captain Demand says. The standard definition of a shooting competition can only be established by Her Eternal Dread Majesty, and it is a competition where 2 men, women, or other individuals utilize spitballs to attempt to knock cans off of a ledge.
Dictionary at Captain Dumont while he's ranting.
I'm sorry, wait. Did you
I
say
don't acknowledge
tactical
the
dictionary?
No. The validity of this document.
Dictionary.
Did you say tactical dictionary?
A technical dictionary.
No, you said tactical.
Yeah, you did say
Okay,
tactical.
Tactical dictionary is fine. Dictionary. Okay, so... Mr. Tanner, I mean no disrespect, but from the court's perspective, it seems rather confusing that you would sign up, given both what little work history we could find on you, both military and not, that you would join up with anything less than a private military contractor. Certainly not a civilian organization that just wants to sell candy.
A civilian organization that just wants to sell candy, that decided to combat one of the most powerful talents in their district because he threatened their ability to sell candy.
Cecil's gonna hold up his hands. Sounds like a corporate PMC. Just shut up, Cecil! No further questions. Cecil's gonna lean up.
Question your ability to run this court.
Cecil's gonna lean. Hey, you hate the Iron Legion, right?
I don't really hate anybody. Although, there was one member of the Iron Legion that I really, really hated. He was just a mook, and his name escapes me right now. But I did promise him I would torture his friend.
Love to hear it.
If that falls under hate.
Alright, I'm ready to issue my verdict. What about you two?
I was really hoping you were gonna say amp. That was really
No.
Amp's
Hey.
not here.
Hey, Amp and I made a deal. I uphold all of my deals.
Alright.
I would like to make a closing statement.
Cecil and Cyril are gonna move to deny. Siri's gonna go, I would love to hear it, please. But
I encourage you to abandon your vile habits now and choose a better life. A life of adventure, a life on the horizon. Join me and we can turn this into a new land.
Tactical dictionary.
Charlie is during this time going to be actively trying and failing to sit him down.
Karenade's just going to like put a hand on
It is
Dumon's
not too
shoulder.
late to avoid your fate.
and just sit down.
All right.
There is still time.
Cecil's gonna say, I don't know what the rest of this court thinks, but to me, it just seems like your bog standard corporation got sick of getting stepped on, hired a private military force, and it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. It's a story we've seen 1,000 times. And quite frankly, being hired by outside settlements is not unusual. Frankly, it would be ridiculous for the hub not to hire them on and off without... Well, we don't have enough to establish a proper political connection.
Have we ever been hired, or did we hire them more often than not?
We technically have been hired by them before.
Oh.
If the FOPs are considered one of the rolling members.
But we've also hired the FOPs.
That, yeah, I mean, going both ways doesn't really help us here, though.
Siri is gonna go, I'm not convinced. They have a FOP on their team. They've employed them in the past. They've done work for the FOPs. The connection there cannot be understated. I believe they are just a private military contractor that's been established so the FOPs can act without incurring the political ramifications of their actions, as seen in the Shrimp Town intervention. They're just there to get around existing treaties. Cyril is going to look down and go, if they were truly formed by the FOPs, you know how they operate. There is no way in hell there would be a teenager, a fucking gator man, and Captain Goddamn Dumont.
Objection!
No, wait. I think you should probably agree with this one.
Technically, I'm a teenager, I
So
guess.
Captain Dumont's not part of this?
That's what Captain Dumont was objecting to.
I mean, also,
got
I'm
you.
not a
I got
part of
you,
this.
We didn't call him to the stand, but you Charlie? What is your last name?
Dicescope.
No, it's fucking not.
It is.
Are you just a home? What do you do in the candy shop? Are you?
Do I need to go stand?
No, just a quick question.
Say it anyway.
So, repeat the question, please?
What do you do? What did you do before you joined the candy shop, and what do you do now?
Oh, before I joined the candy shop, I went around and I did boat
5
tours.
words or less, please.
Boat tours in the hub. Why I joined up with the candy shop is, they provided my artifact accidentally. I didn't know it was an artifact. I just thought they were holding a thing. And then, I just kind of, became friends with them and been working with them. I mean, I feel like you should be questioning me. I'm the only representative member of the candy shop that was actually present at the incident with Shrimp Town.
Inciting incident.
Frankly, I'm not sure if you've caught on, but the incident at the Shrimp Town is not what we actually care about today. Cyril's gonna bang her hammer and go, we don't have enough evidence to prove that they are a PMC, and frankly, cracking down on an unaffiliated civilian element is only going to provoke a war if we're wrong. Final verdict, they are not unbound agents of the hub here to sabotage or diminish foreign agents. At least not on purpose and not without reason, i.e. keeping up profits and defending their customers' interests. That being said, my verdict would include a minor probation period, and we're going to give you a document to sign. Basically, an agreement that if you are to go against treaties, even if it is for your corporate interest, to basically seek approval from those who are a bit more aware of the political situation.
Sweet Tooth will pipe up. Yeah, I do apologize. We genuinely weren't aware of local treaties. As said, I'm not a native.
Chivalry will raise his hand as well.
Objection based on the grounds that you are not a person.
Ooh.
Propulsion's gonna raise his hand.
I already had the stand. Now,
Objection based on the fact that you a bitch.
Cecil's going to come down and go, now, normally there is still a penalty for, breaking a treaty. Ignorance is not a defense. But given prior time served and public service, we'll call it community service, in dealing with the Iron Legion, we're willing to waive that.
Chivalry raises his hand again.
Yeah, what's up, little guy?
Well, for one, I am human. I'm just cursed.
Mm-hmm.
And two, in the he'll point to the parole officer on his chest. It's still carved there. I was given a position by something in the flooded district and need to ask if there's any treaties you have with something called the Grey Wall.
None that I'm aware of.
Thank you. Am I? And he'll turn to Mr. Prince and say, "Am I not human?" People think that?
I think you're human, buddy.
Thank you.
I mean, dude. Propulsion's gonna kneel down. Dude, you look like a fucking puppet. I'm not gonna lie to you. People are gonna think the wrong things about you.
Well, shit looks whack.
Because they're assholes.
Charlie's gonna lean over someone, so he's he's over someone's back to try and get to Chivalry. It's very uncomfortable for everyone involved. Just be just because you don't look like a human, you decide that, and he's gonna slither back to where he was.
Bill will put his hand on Chivalry's shoulder and just very solemnly frown and say, "I'm sorry, buddy. I gotta give you this," and hand him a puppet medallion.
Now, Cecil's going to slide the paperwork over to you guys and go, now, just because I'm aware you probably got the wrong impression of me, I'm not a fucking idiot. I know what's going on here. But if you keep punching south, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Deal?
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna read the document before anyone signs it.
It's basically normally breaking the treaty. They gave you the most. This looks like it was mostly written by Cecil, but it's basically saying, yeah, they broke the treaty. No, they didn't know, so we can't charge them on intent. Now, that doesn't really matter in the Hive, but they're basically treating the time you guys spent fighting the Iron Legion as community service, which is normally, you guys would be slaves for a little bit. But Cecil's waiving that because it seems like he basically just... You only need to get approval if you're fucking with the Hive. It seems like Cecil has written this in such a way that he is just turning you around, pointing towards the Iron Legion and saying, go get him, champ.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, Karenade's going to stand up and go, is court adjourned?
Once you sign, yeah.
Sam, was there any hidden loopholes?
No, Cecil just wants you to go get... He wants you to continue fucking the Iron Legion. He's terrified of them.
Okay.
Are they expecting Captain Demond to sign this?
Nope. Technically, only Sweet Tooth needs to sign.
Because I don't think they have... Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they have any...
I was going to ask them what
any
they plan on
extant treaties
doing.
with Her Dread Majesty.
I was going to ask them what they plan on doing about the Iron Legion since, they're the major target.
We're not at liberty to discuss that.
after, Seth, is Sweet Tooth signing it?
If he gets approval from
Yeah, looks
Mr.
good.
President here. Actually, he also would not mind passing it to
Charlie, for
no
the incredibly small writing.
Salvador?
Salvador. Thank you. I was blanking
Oh,
on his name.
Salvador, yeah.
Just make sure he-
Salvador's going to look at that and go, technically speaking, I would also like to include a clause here. It looks like you're treating the candy shop as based in the hub as former mayor of the, as current acting mayor of the flotilla. I would also like to say they have licensed a location in our settlement and have free reign to operate there in the surrounding area. And Cecil's going to go, he's going to think that over. He is not going to see anything that's obviously fucky, and he's going to approve that.
Propulsion is going to raise his hand at that.
Salvador's going to immediately bump you down.
No, it's nothing fucky. It's just a legal question. I don't know these things. I want to clarify shit.
Salvador's going to, like, lean in, like, bring you into whisper to him.
Alright, so when shit calms down back at my home and I offer them a location to open up, is that gonna fuck with anything?
Don't do that. You're technically a satellite settlement. We don't know whose jurisdiction you fall under, so we don't want to fuck with anything. More importantly, do not give him a reason to think about that clause I just added.
Okay. Just wanted to know.
If he thinks about that for a second, we're fucked.
Alright.
With the clause added, Sweet Tooth will go ahead and sign.
Alright. Court adjourned. Have a good one.
I'll be back for your skulls, gentlemen and ladies. Except
After court is adjourned, Sweet Tooth will approach the judges and start like asking what flavors they want. I'll pull out just like some standard flavors of like either taffy or like hard candy. He has some like image candy with like the image of the flavor it's based on.
Siri's gonna ask for butterscotch. Cyril's gonna ask for grape. Cecil's gonna ask for grease flavor.
He has all three of those. So the grape candy, because it's the only way that Sweet Tooth can make it properly, he gives them one of the vines of grape hard candies, grape drops that he grew. And it's just like, you know how you have like the little, I don't know the exact thing, like the sprigs of grapes or whatever they are. It's just one of those, so it has like 10, 15 pieces just on like a green strand. If you eat that strand, it's not great flavor. You're just supposed to eat the drops on it, but it's technically licorice.
They've already shoved the entire thing in their mouth going,
No self-control.
So, Carinade would like to ask Sal Jr. about like when it would be appropriate for him to put in a resignation with the candy shop and sign up with the deputies.
you can do that whenever. They don't really care about that once we sign now. So basically, I didn't know this going in, but basically they just asked a bunch of questions trying to see if... I didn't realize this going in, but they were just trying to see if you guys were a PMC set up by the FOPs to get around treaties. That seemed to be what they actually cared about this entire time.
Well, alright then.
And the answer was yes.
Carinade's gonna...
No, we kept correcting him and saying LLC.
Yeah.
Like 5 times, I think.
Now, it is good that you've denied connections with the hub. Now, that being said, that does make anything we do in Shrimptown technically illegal, but their guard's not going to be up. We're going to have to...
Sorry, go ahead.
We're also going to have to convince Shrimptown and the rice fields that we're an actual force, though. They would feel a lot more comfortable if, we actually did have official backing by the hub and told the hive to go fuck itself to their face. So that's going to be more difficult. Also,
I mean, several members did tell the hive to go suck it to their face.
True.
Yeah.
We kind of did.
Yeah, you kind of did, but... Oh, by the way, Captain Dumont, they didn't have to say this because you're not a member of the candy shop. Do not get spotted. They didn't say that because it's kind of the standard around here, but if they see you again, they're going to open fire pretty much instantly.
If I see them again, I'm going to open fire pretty much instantly, so it's good that we're on the same page.
Yeah, the invitation covered safe travel to and from, so they're not going to open fire yet, but yeah, be careful. Now, the reason I wanted to add that clause is, technically speaking, the flotilla's jurisdiction extends to several trade routes that go through hive territory. So technically, if you get caught on hive territory, if you're in those trade routes, you're technically not trespassing. It's just, maybe a few spots you can retreat to if you get caught out in their territory. That's the best I could do, though.
To know. That's actually super handy.
Yeah, I'm really glad he didn't fucking think about it for more than 2 seconds. Alright. So we should get out of here.
Sweet Tooth's gonna finish giving the candy. Has
I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna get off and go to bed. I'm sorry.
No.
Gain
We'll
experience.
let you know.
We'll let you know if you get any more.
Will do.
Alright.
We'll give a small glass vial that is full of so this is liquid candy. I usually use this similar to how someone would use WD-40, but it's completely edible and I think it tastes pretty good, although it tastes like grease. And then I'll just and I have anything you want, and I'll just start throwing different variations of butterscotch. Was it Siri that asked for that?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just start throwing her different variations of butterscotch because that's one of the easier flavors.
Siri's just gonna go, oh my god, he really is a fucking candy shop.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said I was. Oh, that was blueberry. Grab back a piece of blueberry that I accidentally tossed in there and eat it.
So, Carinade is going to approach Sweet Tooth.
After I give the candy, I'll start leaving and go talk to Carinade.
So, as you know, I've made a deal with AMP.
Mm-hmm.
Because AMP. So, to not split interests, here is my official resignation from the candy shop. And
Sad to see you go.
What?
I'm sad to see you go.
And here is the early contract cut that comes with all of my dealings. I'm cutting my contract early, so here is 800 pieces of 8.
Thank you. I'll pocket that somewhere.
It has been a pleasure. But other more legally binding deals call to me, and I don't want to split my interests between the candy shop with your current with your continued distance from the hub and my joining up with the deputy.
That's understandable.
Alright.
Well, if you ever want candy, you know where to come.
Indeed, I do. I will be at your at your grand opening tomorrow.
You'd better be.
I know just how good your candies are.
And I'm gonna shake your hand, and in the handshake, there's what's his favorite flavor of candy?
Cream.
Yeah, there's just gonna be
Evil supremacy.
a cream taffy in his hand. He slips it to you as if trying to be stealthy, but there's zero reason to do that.
Karen is going to shake your hand and then clasp his other hand over it and go, I wish you continued success on your journey to become a candy master. My good man.
And keep training with the best.
Captain Dumond will clasp both arms around Carronade, lift him up into the air, and say, "My friend, may you find nothing but success in your expeditious destruction of evildoers here, there, and everywhere."
Captain Dumond, I was wondering, since I am no longer a member of the candy shop, and the hive therefore has no reason to transport me back, could I charter a flight from you back to the hub?
My friend, it would be my absolute honor to give you a ride back. I would not think of taking payment for such an expedition.
Carrionade's gonna turn around and just like do a slight head bow to the judges, and then walk out with Captain Dumond.
Yeah.
All right. As you get out. Now, I want to reiterate. The invitation assured members of the candy shop safe travel.
They can try and stop me if they like.
And Salvador interpreted that to mean Captain Dumond as well. However, Captain Dumond, during the court hearing, pretty much proved and said under oath, not a member of the candy shop. So as you guys get out, you guys see the spirit of the unknown in the process of being impounded. And we're going to end session there.
You
Oh
bastard.
shit!
How did they do that quick?
So, Derek, you're gonna have
Yes.
you're gonna have two of my PCs helping you out in the next session with this.
It's funny because you just got it back.
Yeah.
Ice
Hey, Alex.
team!
Alex, and oh wait, Chris is gone. Alex, I'm bringing John back.
Oh, nice.
That's alright. This will give me a reason to trot out the weapon that I just statted up.
And the best part is, Carronade didn't sign the contract with the hub yet. He's a free agent.
Hell yeah!
I was a little disappointed that this was all talking. It was a ton of fun, but I really want an excuse to use this.
Oh, you're gonna. Next session.
Yeah.
Carronade's a free agent. What are his rates?
He has,
According to the
but he also
invitation,
has no laws.
His rights are none but what he takes.
all right.
If
His rights
he
are
were
less.
to be hired, would he accept working for someone who's chaotic evil, basically?
No, he's a free agent currently.
Okay.
As soon as he gets back to, he has an obligation at the hive. Not at the hive, at the hub. And that is his next contract. He's not currently signed with them, but that is his current destination. But he is a free agent right now with no ties to anybody.
All right.
And I'm so glad Seth didn't use any of his seeing powers during this, because it makes my explanation for my next character really easy.
Hell yeah.
I am
Had
so
Detect Lie running the entire time.
I am
well-
so happy that the InfoSec medallion came in clutch for once. Like it actually was important.
It's funny, that actually was about a year ago, because I'm pretty sure I was at my parents' house when we started talking about the InfoSec medallions.
Yeah.
So now what we need to do is you need to actually make in real life an InfoSec medallion.
I can 3D print that once I fix,
can
once
you?
I fix my printer.
Can you print one for every member of the party?
What I would
If-
probably want to do is print one to use as a lost mold casting and then cast them out of aluminum.
I mean, if you want to send me a 3D model of it, or let me know what you want the 3D model to look like, and I'll try and I will
haven't
learn
been
the
in
3D
discussion.
modeling software.
I'm gonna Google custom coin.
Okay.
So you were gonna say something? Oh wait,
I-
voting. Yeah.
I have to head out soon, so we have to do voting.
Yeah,
Everyone gains
soon.
experience. Who
Yeah.
stayed in character best this session?
I have to give that to Derek.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I'm down for giving it to Derek. I really. I'm kind of upset that the defining character trait of Carronade is he is a professional through and through, because there's not much to work with that.
Yeah. Like, he'd be a good he's a good character, but he'd be a better character if he weren't surrounded by so many flamboyant weirdos.
Yeah.
I'm the serious one. That is the joke.
Yeah.
That is the eternal joke.
You can't be the straight man in JoJo's for a couple of reasons.
Yeah, Captain Dumont threatening the life of everyone in that courtroom every 5 minutes was probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
It was a very funny idea.
Very, very well in
I
character
don't
for him.
think that technically has consequences for us. Just him.
Just for Captain Dumont. Propulsion did it once, and it was accompanied by a significant increase in temperature.
Let's see here. Who? So that goes to Captain Dumont. Who
Yep.
was most useful today?
Sweet Tooth. I think
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth did the best at convincing people, whoever it was, Cecil,
Yeah.
and the rest of them, that we were not, that you were not, we were not a
Sweet Tooth got the
a
baseline
mercenary
going
company.
and kicked that ball off.
Yeah.
It's
do
going to
hope
Sweet Tooth.
It kind of highlighted, like, they're a candy shop. No, they're fucking not.
It's really good.
Immediately turns around as soon as we're over and like, here, candy, enjoy.
We're a candy shop. No, you're not. Yeah, we are. What about them? They just kicked my door in!
Yeah, that's true. He did that like 4 times. So does that go to Sweet Tooth?
Yeah. You now that I think about it, you really should have mentioned that the only reason we hang around there is we kicked your door in one time, and now you can't get us to leave.
Yeah, I mean, that's like half of the party.
Yeah, Captain Dumont kicked your narrative in, and now you can't get him to leave. Yeah.
Can someone quote that? I'm working on quoting Tom.
Actually, everyone's just straight up like, do you know what rent is like in the fucking flooded district? He lets us stay for free.
I have to step away for just a second. I will try to not be long. How long do you have, Sam?
I can stay till about like a little bit past 10:30.
Okay.
right.
All right, yeah, I'll go.
It's gonna take you to get to work tonight.
So we have funniest bit questions still, and then one other.
Wild card question.
Wow,
Yeah.
good question.
The funniest bit probably going to Dumont. Because his entire bit was just
I object to this court.
threatening the
I
leadership.
object to you. I object to your existence.
I'm gonna be that asshole and vote for myself with the InfoSec medallion because
The InfoSec medallion was very funny.
That
I've
was
been
very
waiting
good.
for
That
that.
was
I've been
that
waiting
was
for
a
that
deep
so
cut.
long.
that was a very deep cut.
I've been waiting for so long.
Wait. Seth votes for Tom. Goes to Tom.
Yep.
Ugh.
Alright, I think that's Tom.
I'm giving it to Tom. But damn it. I thought Seth was doing a bit where he forgot what the I thought he was doing an InfoSec bit.
See. Alright. So,
InfoSec medallions. It's so good.
let's think. Wild card. Okay, so since we had interactions with the Iron Legion, if one of your characters, right, had to do a full sovereign citizen rant on why this court is not binding, and they had to come up with some weird fucking word magic to try and legalese their way out, what would it sound like? Like if your character just went full sovereign citizen?
Propulsion. I am not a citizen of the Hive or the Hub. I am a sovereign citizen of this world, bitch. I live here. I exist here. This is my world.
Well, very accurate. I feel like I feel like that's actually a detriment in this case.
Well, yeah, I thought all sovereign citizen bits were detriments to their case.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't mean like case as in like legal case. I meant like we can spice it up.
Bill would probably just be full Boomhauer. I'm trying to think of what Chivalry would do.
Not only does Captain Dumond reject your right to apply your laws to him, he rejects your right to apply your laws to yourselves. You are all tulpas. None of you are real individuals, and therefore, you need to reconsider your own existence.
Now that's the kind of unhinged shit I'm looking for.
Come to terms with your own inability to be a conscious creature before you try to judge mine.
I don't
Pitiable
think
inventions.
Carronade could ever come up with any sort of sovereign citizen rant. He is too professional. He understands how damaging that is to his image.
As a quick aside, I feel like Alpha's sovereign citizen quote in like past tense, if this was the thing, would have just been like, "What are you guys talking about? None of us are people. We're all wolves."
We're only bound by wolf law.
Yeah.
None of this
There's a
is
wolf
legal
inside
in
you.
law.
There's a wolf inside all of us.
I return.
All right. So question was wildcard question was which character or what would your characters in crazy sovereign citizen rant be to explain to the court why they didn't do it? Or how they weren't a member of the candy shop.
Or just like
So-
your laws don't apply. So far, Derek's is winning, I think.
What was Derek's? So I know what I'm trying to punch upward against.
Captain Dumond's would be that he not only rejects the ability of this court to judge him, he rejects the authority of this court to judge themselves, as they're all tulpas invented by a psychotic madman, and so they should come to terms with their own non-existence before they try to regulate his.
Okay, I'm gonna need a second. I don't know that I can beat that, but I'm gonna certainly try.
I have an
Goddamn
idea.
best.
Chivalrous would be something like, now you gotta understand that laws are like cars. They don't
That's all
make
there.
sense. It doesn't make sense that can move. Do you know how cars were invented and how... Okay, so,
John D. Carr stuck 4 wheels on a plate.
6,000 years ago, there was an elf. His name was Nazcar. He discovered that if he combined the primordial magics of fire and gasoline, he could create a vehicle that moved on its own power. And he did that, and he got really rich making a betting ring. By which I mean he took this giant fucking circle in the road and made a ring and raced the trucks on it like horses. And everything was great, except he didn't invent surveying when he made the tracks. So when the Aero Iluvatar made the world round, really fucked it up.
When Aero Luvatar made the world around, he was being right. He did the right thing. The Numenorians were cunts.
And then Chivalry would like keep going with this. He'd start talking more about Tolkien, and he would be like, and that's why nothing I just fucking said makes any sense. Like your laws. And then he would sit down and look vaguely ashamed of himself because he doesn't know exactly how he feels about Tolkien, having lived for several hundred years of high fantasy himself.
So Charlie very calmly approaches the podium. When he sits down, he uncomfortably for like nearly a minute like shifts his chair, trying to put it in place so he's proper and comfortable. pulls it in with one last big squeak. He calmly looks at the judges. Now, you're trying to call on a centuries-old treaty that was put in power by a government older than that, older than anyone in this room. And you brought us here trying against infraction on, again, centuries, many centuries old treaties for something that happened 15 years ago. Now,
I fucking forgot Charlie Time is a pit. It's been a minute.
now,
Has it?
It's been
No, it's-
several years.
now, I didn't know we were supposed to have considered this archaic treaty those many decades ago in Shrimptown, when we were just starting out and not really, knowing the lay of the land. So, you're going to take us for something 30 years prior, and you're going to hold us accountable for that now. It took months to get here. I think we could try you for wasting our time. We have a business to run. We have a grand opening tomorrow. 40 years ago. Hey,
But I was there, Charlie, 3,000 years ago. And so were you.
I was there when the strength of men failed.
Alright, I'm willing to put this to a vote. Who do you guys think had the best one?
I want to go with Tom.
I think I'm going to stick with Dumont personally. So, Tom, what you can do here, if you answer either me or Chris, you can make everyone's sheet a mess. Now, you answer Chris because that's just really funny. That he just didn't answer the question, because, he's not here.
I'll answer Chris because I'm a Hellion.
Didn't feel the need to give a reason for being a sovereign citizen. He simply is.
Chris is such a sovereign citizen in real life, he automatically wins.
He just didn't show up for the court.
Actually, he's like the opposite of sovereign citizen. He works for the military defense industry. The military industrial
He
complex.
works for him doesn't mean he likes him, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, he's pretty excited about working for Lockheed.
No, that is
Wouldn't a
literally
sovereign
just the
citizen working for
paycheck.
Wouldn't a soft sit working for Lockheed Martin be like the ultimate version of the Ron Swanson bit?
So, yeah.
Alright, you guys have played with fire. Everyone gets 0.2 experience points.
Good. I'm at
Wait,
point
everyone gets
4.
0.2, or the 3 people that got voted for get
Everyone
0.33?
gets 0.2.
That kicks me up and over so that I'm now at 39.1.
Ah!
To pay for John,
This does not please me.
the 5 extra points I needed to pay for John, I am now at 42.4.
You guys got a lot of points banked. Damn.
Well, yeah, I need another 105 to pay for one character.
Jesus.
Jason has 10 in everything.
Oh.
And he's driven, so he can't use the cheaty methods to get that cheaply.
Yeah.
I am glad just full Charlie time did seem to land.
I mean, he does
The
have super
most-
equipment, but it's literally just his gun.
The most Charlie it's ever been.
You need to get out of here, Sam.
Yeah, I do. Alright, I'll see you guys.
That was fun.
Thank you. I enjoyed the court.
Bye.